watch the arms house to your mum's house. Arms house to your mum's, to your mum's, to your mum's. Arms house to your mum's house. Arms house to your mum's, to your arms house to your.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to episode 7 of Arms House to Your Mum's House. I am Amber, and I got my co-host,
The Malicious, the Venezuelan culo inflator.
You get me?
It's my new name for the game we're playing next week.
The Venezuelan culo inflator. I love it, man. That's beautiful. And we got a long-term brethren, a friend from back in the days. I mean, I haven't seen you in the flesh in a long time, but we got an old friend and a graffiti writer, designer. He's a man of many talents.
Nobody's seen him.
Matt Script, aka Sick, in the house.
Hey.
Yes.
What's going on, brother, man? How you been?
I'm good.
Yeah?
We've moved into this house now, and I've done all the house shit. I've got all the house stuff out of the way, and now I'm like, what do I do now?
Where are you? No, because
Where are you? Where are you now?
Because I know you've moved about a lot. You've moved about a lot in these last few years. So
I'm now in Virginia.
Okay,
which is a place I never thought I'd end up if you'd asked me.
Is that near Washington, D.C.?
It is a sick turn of events.
It's south. It's a couple of hours south.
Yeah.
I knew nothing about Virginia before I moved here, other than that it was racist or had a history of racism. I think it was the most racist place. I think it was Virginia that kicked off the Civil War, in fact. I could be wrong.
Oh, shit. It goes way back to them
days.
Yeah,
because I thought it was south. I thought it was like down south, but it's just on the East Coast. It's like, just because I was in Chicago, it's just east straight.
I guess maybe in the South they didn't. I mean, they were just deeply ingrained in it. They just weren't there battling anyone with it. Maybe on the East Coast they had people like they were butting heads with you, going, "Nah, you can't take our slaves," and they were like, "Nah, you got to get rid of them."
Well, I think Virginia was the one that was like, "Let's have a war about it."
Yeah, exactly. They were like, "You know what? I'm warring." They were like, "You know what?" They said to them, "I'll bring arms house to your mom's house." That's what they do, bro.
What? So it's just full of white people? Yeah.
No,
I got cousins there.
How do they talk? Do they like Papa talk down south and stuff like that?
A little bit. There's some southern charm sound to it. Yeah, it's nice. I like it. It's very musical, and people are so friendly here. I mean, I have come from Chicago, where everyone's fucking miserable, but here people say good morning to you. You walk down the street. If I'm walking from my house to like the supermarket, I'll get like 4 hellos.
Is it more residential now where you live? Because I remember in Chicago seeing pictures. You were up in a flat in the middle of the city.
I was right, like on the level with the L train going past. Like I could have thrown eggs at it if I wanted to, and not really made an effort. And I had the metro line as well, so that was always dinging and had its engines running. And I was right above a main road, so it was just non-stop din.
Yeah,
it was $100 cheaper than any other apartment I saw that day. So,
where were you before Chi-Town?
Cape Town.
Cape Town to Chi-Town.
And before that, Bangkok.
Bangkok, that's the one. That's the crazy one, I imagine. I mean, South Africa seems mad as well, but
South Africa was by far the craziest.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Damn. So,
I mean, listen, Bangkok's pretty wild, but it's safe crazy.
Oh, okay.
I got a story about Bangkok.
Is it? Go on. Start us off with the stories. Go on.
Can I tell you a quick story about Andy? It's very quick.
Do it.
This might be the same story as yours. When you picked me up, I was having like a last paint up before I left London. You came round, drove me, and you were like, "Bangkok, huh?" I was like, "Yeah," and you went, "Shit the bed there."
Yeah.
I was like, "What?" He was like, "Yeah, all over my girlfriend, all over the shit, like everywhere." And I was like, "That's cool. That's good to know."
Damn,
it was fucking true. But I was a dick. I ordered a ham and cheese sandwich in a hotel, like by a room service.
Nothing's safe in Thailand.
Nothing's safe. They don't know anything about cheese and stuff like that. I don't know what I was doing. It was like literally when I got there from the airport, man, from arriving. And I was waiting for the girlfriend. She was teaching in Nepal, teaching English. We said, all right, we'll link up in Bangkok. So we go to Bangkok. I'm there a day early or whatever. And I ordered this fucking sandwich, yeah? And I'm telling you, Maddie, for like 6-7 days, I didn't leave the room. I've been sick before, but I'm not saying I didn't leave the bed. Day 2, you see, even if you just breathe the air,
exactly.
Stuff,
it's just the way they. I think Asia has this self-defense mechanism where it tries to like kill Westerners just as soon as they arrive. And now we have things like antibiotics and medicine and Imodium. We can survive there because my wife got it the next day.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. Before we hear any more white boy problems, Matt, could you, I'm just kidding. Matt, could you turn yourself down just slightly? You're peaking quite a bit here. I can see on my finger. Sorry, bro. Just a little bit more down.
I shut the bed.
Sorry, brother.
With the missus in it.
I don't know if this is going to help, like, at your end. It'll help at mine.
Oh, right. Okay, so it's just turning you down. Yeah, no, I don't think it's doing anything around here. Okay, well, don't worry.
I do have that other mic, but you said to use this and look like a call center.
No, it's fine.
It's all good. It's just, I don't know why it's just mad peaking right now, man. But it's all good. Like I said, I can sort this out in the edit afterwards, man. But no, like you say, to be honest, people call me Iron Stomach, yeah? Because I like, it's very difficult. I have had food poisoning in the past, but I've never been to Thailand. But yeah,
is this the same as you not having to wear sun cream when you go in the sun? Because that's bullshit as well.
I know, it's bullshit.
You went bright red.
Yeah, I was telling these lot when he got married, we were in the south of Spain, and everyone's putting on. And I was like, "Nah, I'm a brown brother. I'm good." And I was just
a tropical brother.
Just
it was 41 degrees.
Huh?
Mine.
Yours?
Yeah. Sometimes, yeah.
I mean, you know,
2 times a day. I'm like every 20 minutes, though. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
She's twice a day or something.
I did the ancestry thing.
Oh wow!
I want to do that.
And because I had no idea. That. I knew like my mother was like Jewish, but that was about it. And I did it, and it was like because I never really burn in the sun. I go brown really quick. My wife gets proper jealous.
Yeah.
And I was like,
the ladies
50% Liberian. I was like, what's Liberian?
Wow.
I looked it up, Liberia? And it was like,
that's like Michael Jackson sang a song about.
No, that's Iberia, I think.
No, Liberian.
All right, I'm 50% Iberian then.
Ah, okay, there we go.
Whichever one is European.
Yeah. Okay, sweet.
It is Iberian. Is it? As in
Iberian.
Spanish.
Are you not worried about that? The conspiracy theory about those heritage kind of test things? They take your DNA and they
I was 1% African, so no.
Okay,
there we go, baby. 1%.
I'm not quite dropping the N-bomb yet, but
yeah. Okay, I mean, we're all African of origin, man. You know,
I think if anyone does it, it's everyone's kind of got a tiny percent.
What did you have to do? Give some blood or piss in?
I regret it now because I realised it ends up in a database. I had to come into like a receptacle and then send it off.
And then send it off.
No, I just had to. It was just like a bit of spit into a thing and send it off. Yeah.
Oh, okay. You know what? I want to take it back, man, if that's all right with you guys. Because like I said at the beginning, we go way back, man, to when we were like literally early teenagers.
1993, I think I met you, or 2.
93, 92, something like that. Ealing, West London area. You know, you were Ladbroke Grove, right? You came up.
92.
I grew up in Ladbroke Grove, but I went to school in Ealing.
Yeah.
Which is where I met Anjay, who was your neighbour, who I was around his house one day and he was like, let's go knock for Maddie. I was like, who's Maddie? I was like, it's my friend, let's go. You know, the days we used to go knock for people.
Go and knock for someone, yeah, exactly. It's the love that shit.
If anyone knocked at your doors now, you'd be, what the fuck? Who's fucking...
Yeah.
But then it was like, yes.
Jehovah's Witness. Yeah.
Mate, I treat my front door the same as on my phone. If it's like an unknown caller, I'm not picking it up. If someone's knocking at the door, I'm not expecting someone. Yeah. That door's not getting in.
Well, I installed that security doorbell, so like if it rings, I can hit a button on my phone and see who's there. And a lot of times, be like, nah.
Yeah, nah. You know what? Do you actually in America? Do you get a lot of?
Out of the chair.
Do you get a lot of like Jehovah's Witness and shit like that? I don't know.
Nah, not around here.
No, okay, but no, but so
they came to the door, no.
So we're taking the what? Sorry,
you could shoot them if they came to the door.
Probably could.
Yeah. That was going to be my other question. Is now you've been in America for a good few years now. Sorry, Ticker, man. Don't be burping, man.
Oh yeah, no burps. Ticker gets upset.
I'm drinking Prosecco, man. It's hard.
Exactly. Prosecco. That's what I was telling her. We drink on here, so you're going to get the occasional burp. Sorry, Akit. Salute, man. But I was going to say, you've been in America a good few years. Have you been compelled to buy like an arsenal of guns? You got. I can see behind you, you're a collector. Do you collect guns now as well?
No, I have been to the big gun store down the road. I was kind of intrigued because Chicago has one of the strictest gun laws and control policies, whatever.
Yeah, it's the murder capital, isn't it?
Really?
Well?
Yeah, but, I mean, no. I think that could be Detroit, or it could be somewhere surprising like Philly. I don't know. It's not Chicago. I mean, Chicago's bad, but it's not. I think it's top 5.
Yeah, it must be, man. I remember during the pandemic, the video you were filming from your window, just all the riots kicking off, and like you were just like, nah. There was like times when it was just a no-go zone.
I wanted to go out there to get photos, but my wife said absolutely not.
Don't be silly, yeah.
Which is what she's also said about guns.
Tight as gun controls.
Yeah.
Tight as gun controls, but fucking shitloads of armed offences, no, in Chicago.
Yeah.
And it doesn't, I think with Chicago, it doesn't stay contained to certain areas.
I remember when I was in Chicago, I remember specifically people, I was there for work. So I was there doing my thing, working most of the time. But I remember I had a day off and I wanted to go record shopping. And everyone told me, don't go south of Chicago. Whatever you do, don't go south of Chicago. And I fucking went anyway, because I got a mate out there. I got shout out my mate. He's a trumpeter, Mr. Gay. His name is Gay, like Marvin Gaye, but gay. What's his fucking name? I can't remember. What the fuck? It's been
such
a
a
long
tight
time
since we're shouting him out. You don't even know his fucking name.
I met him in Brazil. Last time I saw him was in Chicago over 10 years ago, maybe 8 years ago.
Yeah,
Ben? His name was Ben. Ben Gay. He's a trumpeter. He lives in South Chicago. He showed me a boom record shop. And it was boom. And he told me it was like racial segregation here, man. He goes, it's like literally there's a line and black people are south. And
this is
like,
what was weird
like
moving from Cape Town, which is, historically known for apartheid. And I go to Chicago and it's like, oh, what's changed?
That's crazy to put those two together. Yeah, from one extreme to another extreme, man. Mad. But anyway, sorry, I keep getting carried away. We're back in the day. We're teenagers. We're coming up. Did we meet before you were into Graph? Now you were into Graph.
I wasn't into Graph. I was aware of it because I grew up in Labrador Grove, and I was getting the train to Ealing, which had on the Central Line, which had a lot of good walls at the time.
Oh, that was such a good line back then.
Yeah, one of the best. And then when Anjay brought me around to your house, and you and Fred were sitting there just like tagging away on bits of paper, I was like, I know what that is. And then you both explained it to me. I was like, and then I was hooked after that.
So we were partly responsible for
for
taking you down that line, man. Damn, that's crazy. But what other influences did you have, man, back then? Like, I know you were good friends with Odyssey, with the skateboarding. I know Anjay was into skateboarding, so all the skaters had their scene. I wasn't part of the skaters scene, but you and Anjay were like my link to them boys.
Yeah, and you were kind of like the smoke weed party graffiti people, and you were like the stand outside Ealing Broadway looking moody.
Yeah, we smoke weed as well.
Yeah, but like looking screw facing everyone while you did it.
It's further proof that Maddie used to be a die-hard rude boy back in the day, but she always says, no, but you know.
Theme, you're like this. Well, you remember when everyone used to meet outside Ealing Broadway Station, like on a Friday or Saturday night?
Yeah.
And so me and my friend Anjay were there, and Maddie's there with all his friends. And they're dressed very differently to us. They got their like skinny jeans and their Reebok Classics and their bomber jackets and
the uniform.
We were like, Maddie, you want to go and say hello? We started talking to you. You started looking a bit uncomfortable, and you were like,
he used to do this a lot. He used to do this to me.
He was like, can you go and stand over there again? You're kind of like killing the vibe.
I never said that.
100% you did.
Is it?
And you were definitely screw facing him as well, like as he came over, like, don't come over, blood. You know what I mean? I don't know you, blood. I don't know you. That kind of face.
Nah. I remember.
Lately,
he was like, he took us off to the side a little bit and to chat to us. He purposely like herded us away from the.
You're cramping my style.
Yeah, that's exactly what you said.
Yeah.
No, I was probably just going, look, get away from these guys, man, because they're looking to jack some people, man, you know? And I remember a couple of times, like, because the skaters, they were easy targets back then, yeah? You remember, man, like, it was fucked up. I'm not
Well, I had a pass because I was friends with Spo back then.
Well, yeah, there we go. And also...
There we go. Golden ticket.
Yeah, and when we, like, you know, all my mates back then would go and jack all the skaters. When I saw you and Jay, I'd just be like, nah, these two are cool. Don't fuck with these guys. Yeah. And then all the rest of your mates would just be like, what's up, man?
That happened a lot, man. Like the amount of times people get, because going between Ealing Broadway and Labrador Grove was kind of perilous back then. You're going through White City, Shepherd's Bush, all the Actons. And I got robbed so many times, like in my fucking private school uniform. Why did my parents send me to there? They were like, "Oh, it's a good school." No, it's full of fucking nonsense. It's historically
it's
famous
miles
for
away,
being full
man.
of paedophiles.
Yeah,
no, it did come
through
out.
White City, through East Acton, North Acton. Why'd you send me fucking there? Yeah, it's
I know.
nuts.
I worked out a safer route. Like I did the first couple of years, and I was like, I could get the district line to Hammersmith and change, or you know, and that was just full of. I mean, there was Notting Hill girls. So that's one plus, and there was no Rude Boys. So
I mean, but
I got jacked so many times, like going to and from schools. To the point where I just didn't even bother replacing my Walkman. It just became transactional.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I'd be sitting there on an empty carriage, and a rude boy come and sit opposite me. One would sit there, and I'd just get my fucking thing out. There you go. Just save the time. But when I had friends come over and like visit mine, they'd get robbed. They get like robbed with me, and they would just be so upset. They'd be devastated.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, like, okay, me and my friends were jacking people, but we were getting jacked by people, and probably the people jacking us, they were getting jacked. Like, you know, it was like kind of a lockdown effect.
There's a hierarchy of jacking.
Yeah, exactly. It was all really weird and fucked up in its wonderful way.
Does that still go on in the graph world?
No, I don't think it does, man. I don't think it does.
It's harder to get away with it nowadays, man. Especially because, like you said, the train and the bus, that was like the ideal spot. Top deck of the bus, they sit next to you, they put you up next to the window.
Imagine jacking someone outside Ealing Broadway now.
Yeah,
it'd be impossible.
Yeah,
I can probably have seen it for a while, Matt. It's all like revamped and all massive and new, just like open security. And also the people wouldn't have it. Back in the day, people would walk past, couples, you know, older than you, who could like sort it out straight away, would just walk past, you're getting jacked. Everyone knows you're getting jacked. No one did shit. I reckon now.
You think the hero
people in school, if you were like in school and you bullied someone or you jacked someone at school, man, it would be fun. You'd be shitting the most shit of your life. You know what I mean? People used to get jacked at school, outside school, by people who went to their school or whatever.
Yeah. Everyone from my school got robbed at Ealing Broadway. By friends of yours, Maddie.
Yeah, but same with my school. My school, Latimer people got jacked left, right, and center outside my school. They even had fucking undercover police outside our school to catch people jacking the people from my school. And the fucked up thing is, once I had Frez and Gore and a couple of heads, they came to meet me outside of school. And I came out and they were all being arrested and like searched by all these undercover police going, "Oh, you're jacking."
You loved it.
No, I'm going to meet my mate.
I can remember when I got arrested in Anjay's living room. I'd been round, we were going to your house, and we used to play the stupid game where if we saw the police, we'd run. Just to fuck with it. And I had my sketchbook on me, and halfway, like, I'm running those back alleys, and I realize I got my sketchbook, so I try and throw it over a fence, and it kind of hits the fence, bounces off. Then they catch us, and then they find the sketchbook, and they were like, to Anjay, like, give me your address, and he gave it to them, and I came to yours for a bit, and then you lot were heading out. It was you and Gore. I don't know, I can't remember. Whoever you were hanging out with in 1994. 95, and I went back to Anjay's house, and the feds were there, like in his living room. They just arrested me, like in front of his mum. His mum started crying. This is the second time, so I was kind of used to it. And then we got in the car.
Andrew didn't get arrested, just you,
just me, because they'd gone
just
around.
you in her living room.
For what though? For what?
It's so fucked up. Like they went around matching my the tags in my sketchbook to all the tags in the area.
Oh, okay.
And I could have, if I'd known anything, if I wasn't 14, I could have like got away with it. But anyway, they were driving down Pitsanger Lane towards Acton Police Station. They passed you lot, blatantly just battered the bus stop, smoking weed. Like one of you was doing this. And they were like, friends of yours? And I was like, no. And I go, yeah, one tag is enough a day. We've already got you. I was like,
he could have grasped you, Maddie.
Yeah.
And then they didn't get me any kind of representation. There was no like social worker. And he said, if you don't admit to all these, you're going to prison.
Yeah, that's what they do, man. They shit you
on
up.
tape.
Yeah.
What a dickhead.
It's mad.
The same guy arrested me like the next time as well.
But what did, in the end, like, because you were a minor, you weren't over 16, so what, they ended up just giving you a caution or something? Or
first time caution, second time caution, third time I had to go to court and to Acton Magistrates.
Yeah.
And got a conditional discharge, which I didn't know would come back to haunt me when I was applying for a fucking green card here.
Oh, shit. Shit. I know. I remember hearing you've been going through some shit.
Yeah, because they do a record check. No, it gets worse. They do a record check. And it's a bit like when you go to hospital and they do tests. They go, something's come up. we don't know what it is, so we need to do more tests. So they were like, something's come up on your record, like you don't have a clean record. And they're like, but now it's down to you to like prove that it's nothing serious. And yeah, I was like, look, I can't. This is a long time ago, man. Like, the courts I was in are now flats. They're now apartments for like.
Yeah, and they were using paper back then. Now it's all digital. It's like.
But the lawyer doing it on my behalf was like, he was like, just call your local county sheriff's office. I was like, we don't have those there. Like, not the rest of the world works like here.
Like
even a lawyer is
it's not like it might, if like it could be a bit racist to say this, but I think it's really easy to like check up on people here because, so many people have records here just over minor things. Yeah. So they keep it forever. But in the UK, like, there's a lot of bad things about UK, but they kind of let you off after a while. Like, if enough time's passed, it's like, you're good now. Yeah. Yeah. In America, it's still like you go and apply for a job and they can really check it. It's like, oh, you sold weed at 16. No.
Yeah. They kind of epitomize that in the 3-strike rule in some states.
Oh, Biden's, yeah.
Yeah, but like in some states, I don't know if they still have it to this day. I'm sure
I think they've got rid of it.
They have?
Mostly, yeah.
Because that was so insane when I heard the 3-strike rule, Andy, is like if you get caught first time doing something.
Yeah, I know what it is.
And then on third time, you get life in prison.
I think they stopped it, but people are doing life in prison are still doing life.
Yeah. It's insane.
Did you watch any of those debates, those presidential debates when they have do you remember that lady? She's like ex-military. You probably know her name. I think she's mixed race from Hawaii.
Oh, yeah. I like her,
She smashed. She fucking bodied the other woman.
Kamala Harris,
vice president.
Tulsi Gabbard.
And talking about what Maddie's talking about, people having the 3 strikes, and some people are in prison for a long time with weed. And this woman, who's from Hawaii, who was
Tulsi Gabbard.
running.
She ran for president, yeah.
She's perfect. Like, I don't know why they don't love her. She's mixed race. She used to be in the forces. She's now like an educated lawyer or something. She kills it, yeah. Went on one of those presidential debates and brought up this, the vice president, is it?
Yeah, Kamala Harris. And she was
Kamala Harris's history on the TV. And they're all there just doing their one-liner answers that they've been prepared for and all that shit. Like, I'd like to say that. And she's going bang, 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 bang. She used people as like slave labor in prison and kept on putting people in jail for weed. And there was something about her.
She hit revolving door that could have exonerated someone.
Hid evidence and all this kind of shit. Smashed her on the TV.
She's cool, that out.
Then she got blackballed by the Democrats.
Yeah, everyone hates. No one likes her, right? Everyone hates her.
She's running again as an independent.
I'm gonna have to check
what
that
does
out.
the Democrats like? Don't they like she's been in the ex-forces? Aren't they supposed to like all that shit? But just no one she could be fucking perfect, but no one.
I think that's because she said the truth.
Yeah.
She didn't play the game, basically. Yeah, I always remember my dad. Like my dad, may he rest in peace. He was a political journalist. He always told me politics is a sneaky game, man. You can't, because I used to ask him what's wrong with Corbyn, man. He'd be like, I love Corbyn. He's a great guy, but he's a shit politician, man. He's like that straight down the line, And like to be a politician, you have to be able to meander around. Anyway, it's all fucked up, man.
I think here you have to be a little bit crazy.
You definitely have to be a bit crazy.
Because everything here is done to the extreme.
Yeah.
Like if you look at how the UK handled COVID, it was pretty like everyone kind of agreed what should be done. You didn't. But here it was like the Republican states were going, carry on as normal. In fact, go out more.
Yeah.
You don't have to wear masks. Don't worry about just carry on.
Florida.
And the Democrats were like, all right, we've got to do the opposite of what they did because they're the Republicans. Yeah. We'll do the opposite. Everyone's locked down. Masks, you get fired if you don't get vaccinated. And it's like, I don't think anyone stopped to think of what the right thing was to do was. Everyone was just more concentrated on like the political thing to do.
Yeah, loads of celebs and shit left LA, didn't they? But they moved to like Texas.
Yeah.
Instead, because
I think that's for tax. I think that's for tax reasons
taxes
mainly
as well. I think the tax is higher in Texas.
There's no income tax in Texas, I don't think.
Yeah, I think that's the main reason why they moved.
Florida,
also definitely for free. Yeah, definitely for freedoms as well.
But loads of them during COVID, thousands and thousands of people left places like LA.
Yeah. I tried to leave Chicago. It didn't work out, but I went. It's funny because it was like I was in Chicago during the lockdown, and I had to like wear like masks in my building, just to like walk to the end of the corridor and just throw the trash down the chute. And everyone was crazy. Like, if an email went out saying someone in the building's got COVID, it would be like almost like a witch hunt. Like, who has this? Yeah. Why are people still leaving their apartments?
Was it reminiscent of like when 9/11 happened, the whole terrorism, Amber Alert, Red Alert? Remember when all that was happening constantly on the news, just pumping people with fear. But
this time around, the people who didn't want to wear a mask were the like Arabs in this situation.
Yeah, exactly.
But I remember I was like, I'm sick of this, and we went down to Miami for a week just to get like a week of normality back.
Yeah, I mean, once politics just infects everything, man, and really fucks everything up. Like, it was a mad time to live through, man. And you're right. Here in England, it wasn't perfect. I mean, Boris Johnson and all that, they did a lot of fucked up shit, man. And a lot of people, went through a lot of shit, man. I mean, I'm blessed. I'm privileged, man. I got through it. I lost my job. I lost a bunch of shit, but I'm good. I got family. I got a house. I got, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? And I wore my mask when I was indoors. I didn't wear it elsewhere. I didn't get any shit off people. It was fine. Like in America, like you said, it looked like it'd been split into two, especially with Trump as well. Now, like, he was putting his fucking shit in the air and it became this like political statement wearing a mask. It shouldn't have been anything to do with politics at all.
I'm in the middle.
Fucking diaper off your face.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah. I have an equal kind of dislike for both parties, but it's so ingrained with people's like identity here.
That's the thing with America. There's two parties.
Yeah, and it's almost like a religion. It's like you have to be one. Like you can't be like me, and I'm like I don't like either. They're both doing like wild shit that I don't agree with.
Yeah. I mean, it's fucked up, man. I mean. Anyway, let's.
Yeah, this is getting a bit too suspenseful. Let's talk about Andy shitting himself and getting done for graffiti.
Yeah. So did I meet you through Graph, or did I meet you through like big up people like Anna Petroni?
Yeah.
Oh, I remember. No, Anna Petroni. I used to call her Sandra.
Anna Petroni.
Sandra.
Oh
yeah. That just came to me. I mean, much love to her. She was a beautiful, gorgeous girl, but
I'm sure there's no danger of her listening.
Yeah, probably not. But she said, I remember people saying, she looks like Sandra Bollocks. I was like, she looks like Sandra's bollocks, man. What are you talking about? Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, theme. I knew you, but like, not really. Like, I was friends with Maddie, but we'd always, like, you'd be at the same house parties like I was. I was friends with your mate, Rob, kind of. I knew him better than you.
Is that cheat?
Yeah.
Yeah, because he went to my school, isn't it? He went to our school. Yeah. Well, then theme went off. Yeah,
I was thinking about those house parties the other day after watching one of your podcasts. Like, I don't go to house parties anymore, but you might. I don't go to house parties because I don't have any friends. But I did in Cape Town and Bangkok. But imagine being our age and every house party ending with the police turning up and telling everyone to leave with like just devastation everywhere. Because that's how they ended back then. They were like doors kicked off. Like their frames, like
all the aftershaves nicked and stuff like that. Vodka in the museum.
Those house parties, man. Yeah, that
vodka in the fish
one. Was that in Barnes? It was in Barnes.
That was Polly's, yeah.
Because Polly was really cool, if I remember correctly.
Big up Polly, man.
Big up Millie.
With the needle.
Millie, isn't that Vinny's sister?
Millie McCall, yeah.
Millie McCall is Davina McCall's sister. Oh shit, man. Yeah, I remember her.
They were Lady Margarets, weren't they?
I can't remember.
I think, yeah.
I just remember them being really cool. And I remember I was really chill, but I'd bring people to the party and then they would just fucking cause havoc. And I remember it might have even been that.
But you fucking knew that. You fucking knew that.
Obviously,
I did it as well, because I'd invite Maddie and he'd invite all them lot.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I, you know what, man, if you don't have to believe me, but I would tell them before and I'd be like, please don't, and then next thing I know, we'd leave and then, what's his name? Rasper. My man, he'd walk out. He'd be wearing his clothes, and then after he'd show me outside. He'd lift his jumper up, and he's wearing like Polly's dad's
all the suits. Yeah,
Hugo Boss suit under the gown. He like put on all his clothes, and then put his clothes on top, and walked out.
I can remember I was at one house party. I'm not going to name any names, Because I was friends with like your friends.
I just want to big up Rasper now, because he's cool. I chat to him.
Cool.
I can remember being at a house party, and one of our friends had robbed one of my school friends, school associates' phone. And he was asking for it back. He was like, "I don't have it. I don't know what you're talking about." So you went and got the house phone, which was next to it, called his own number, and it starts ringing in his pocket. And he's like trying to turn it. He's like, "Nah, what are you talking about?" He's like, "I can hear it ringing in your pocket." He's like, "No, it's nothing." And so my fucking idiot, idiot had brought like knuckle dusters that he bought in France or some shit.
No.
And he pulled those out, and then the guy with the phone just robbed them of, like, just goes, "I have those too."
took them off as well.
And then sold them both. Like,
oh my God. That is, I mean, man, I can't even remember specific. I mean, I'm sure I could if someone.
That is the definition, though, man. Of don't pull it out if you don't know how to use it. Like, what the fuck? Oh yeah, but I've got this.
But that reminds me as well. It's like people, they'd like go, "Oh, let me ever go on your bike," and then you'd be like, "All right," and then they go on your bike and go, "It's my bike," and you go, "No, it's not." You go, "Yeah, it is. It's my bike."
And
they just sit there and go, "Yeah, it's my bike," and you're like, what the fuck?
I beg you let me go on your bike. But you knew as soon as it was said, you'd be like, "Oh,
yeah,
under the bike." No, I'll bring it back.
Actually, I got a funny story, man. We were down in Northfield somewhere. It was maybe me and Frez and maybe one other person. I don't know who it was. And it was like an alleyway. I can't remember exactly where it was. But do you remember those writers, Sly and Earn and Cruel?
Oh, DKM.
And who else was in that crew?
It
all
was
them
like
white boys.
It was like Earn Cruel. It was guy. I only know by his name. He didn't really write, but he hung around them. And then it was like they kind of had like a association with like Duz and Cry and those lot from like.
That's it. The ATM crew, Nerd ATM, all from Hanwell. All them sides. Anyway, they were all like big white fucking skinhead. They were like kind of what NF dudes. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, but they were like
a little bit racist. Yeah,
I know Cruel was, man. You know what I mean? I know Cruel's brother, and he's really fucking chill and cool, the nicest guy. But Cruel, his older brother, was something else. Yeah, he was like Debo in Friday. If you ever seen the film Friday. Yeah. Debo was that dude who was like, he had a glazed look on his face and all he wanted was whatever's in your pocket and to beat you up. Like he was just one of them dudes. Yeah. And anyway, all them lot turned up and then I was on my bike and they were like, let me borrow your bike. And I was like, shit, there was more of them than us. And like, there was nothing I could do. So I gave him my bike. Yeah. And he was like, I'm just going to go to the shops. I'll be back in a minute. And I was like, oh, fuck. I was like, there's no way I'm seeing this bike again. Anyway, so he pegged it off on my bike. Them lot all hung around. I thought they were all going to fuck off afterwards, but they were hanging around. I was like, oh, shit. And anyway, a couple minutes passed. And then they were like asking us for weed or whatever. And we're like, no, we ain't got nothing. Next thing I know, a couple of minutes passed, he's winging back on the bike. And he does this move. Yeah. I never forget it. He was pegging it on the bike, zinging down. It was like down a hill. And then he just did this one maneuver. He jumped off the bike and the bike just went and just kept going down like that on its own. It just went smash into the wall. Yeah.
That was him returning
in front of you.
Huh?
Yeah.
That was him returning it.
And he just dashed it and it just smashed against the wall. And then he was like, let's go. And then they all bucked off. And I was like, picked up my bike. I think like the wheel was mad dented and shit.
I can remember getting robbed once. We were all skating on that little area outside Warple Park.
Yeah.
And, anyway, like all of South Acton, like you remember everyone was scared of the South. I don't know what their gang name was, but they all turned
up. South Acton Estate crew. Yeah, the South Acton Estate lot.
And so they all like separate us. And I'm used to it because of all the robberies I've experienced. Like,
we're veterans.
Yeah, I'm like, all right, come on, then where are we going? Yeah. And he starts walking me off to South Ealing, and he's chatting to me and shit. I was like, oh, I recognise you. Like I said to him, because I'd seen him waiting because in magistrates' courts, you just turn up and just wait for your turn. So you're all in this like waiting room together, basically. Yeah. I was like, yeah, he was sitting next to me on Wednesday, and he was like, oh, is it? And then he was like, but his friends were like behind him, like marching, like in a sort of row, marching my friends along. And he was like, look, I got to look like I'm robbing you. I don't want it. So I had to give him like some money, and then he slyly gave it to me back, like tipping a bouncer.
Did he give it back?
Yeah, he gave it back. He was like, they got to see me give it to you, but then gave it straight back.
Damn. Yeah. That's deep.
Crime
you see,
pays.
It's so mad. The I don't know if you call it morality of the people when they're jacking you. Like,
the thing is, those guys are now, they've probably got good jobs in a family, but the people who were like the real scumbags,
the robbing,
who
knows?
aren't.
Do you remember Marlon? Do you guys remember Marlon?
I mean, I knew a couple of. No. Did they write? Were they writers?
No, not really. No. Well, one of them was massive, yeah. But Marlon used to jack every single person around like Chiswick and Turnham. Remember going Turnham Green for some back in reason because of the scumbags?
Yeah,
they'd like made it really hot. Like,
of all the places, right? You know, the leader of the scumbags used to live on Chiswick High Road, just off the behind it. So yeah. Of all the places to become like a dangerous place.
It made it mad hot. That was dope. I thought I was going to say about it.
Yeah, it's mad.
You know, Does and Cry. They made a bit of a comeback.
Yeah,
I've seen Does. Does has been hitting up. Yeah, Does. He's got ill hand style as well. I really like it. It's not super intricate or anything, but it's really clean.
He was really good. He had like such a nice 90s like dub style.
Yeah.
I loved that dub style, man. All them lot used to do it. Diet used to do it. Does was one of them. Fucking, and all them CB boys as well.
Baps and Era. When they used
Baps
to smash
and
the Rest in Peace Era. But I always, when I see Baps, I always say to him, man, you got to please do me just a dub with those old letters. He's like, not into it. Not interested whatsoever.
Yeah. And what's Catch as well? Who used to write Code. K-O-A-D or Code. Yeah.
No, Catch. Yeah. Oh, did he write Code as well? Yeah.
So I think he wrote K-O-A-D or something like that, spell that, or something Chord K-O-A-U or something. But he had a fucking sick style as well. He still does. I love people who keep that style, you know, who don't like.
You know what? Yeah. Catch. I mean, Catch he's a legend, man. And obviously he's I hope you don't mind me saying, like, he's a DJ as well, big time DJ. We used to go watch him DJ back in the day, like legendary dude. But I'm not in his good books at the moment, man. It's really fucked up. Shall I tell you why? I mean, it's really messed up, man. And
I know some fun stories about him that I won't tell, but I want to hear this one.
Yeah, obviously, I'm going to tell this story just because he doesn't come out looking too bad. You know what I mean? I end up looking bad, and I just want him to know that it wasn't my fault. You know what I mean? Like, no, it was the fucking.
This is your time to tell him.
It was the. I mean, I've told him.
You feel more comfortable telling him this way, like on sort of Joe Springer style?
No. I've spoken to him about it since. And to be honest, it's not really actually him who's really mad. And you know what? To be honest, I don't think they're mad at me. Really, that's why I'm talking about it. But I just want to hear what you guys think about the situation because it's a little bit funny as well. Yeah, it was the Save Trellick Hall of Fame paint jam that happened.
You organised it.
I was part organising. It was me and Epic Jam and a couple of heads. We were organising the Save Trellick because they were looking to close down Trellick. It's not closed yet, but it still might happen. Who knows? Anyway, so we're organising a big jam, and my idea was to get all the writers. My job was to get all the writers to paint on the day and get paint donated. So I reached out to that guy in Cambridge. What's his fucking name? The Loop guy. The guy who sells all the Loop paint. What they called?
I've been gone 10 years.
No, I know, Andy. What they called?
Urban Paint Supplies.
No, the one in Cambridge, the one where we went to paint the carriage train.
Shit.
What's it fucking
Alfresco?
Alfresco, because I want to big them up. Alfresco, because they hooked us up, man. The guy there, I can't remember his name, Gary or Dave, whatever. He's killed it. He's a really cool dude. Anyway. So I was thinking in my mind, I want to get the wall. Who was the original people who painted Trellick? Was
State of Art and Non-Stop.
Yeah, State of Art and Non-Stop. And one of them is Rich. What's his name? Rich. He writes Rich now, R-I-C-H.
He writes Rich, yeah.
What's his fucking name? But anyway, old school legendary dude. And so I reached out to Catch because Catch knows him. I was like, look, I want you guys. And Catch told me, he's been going through medical complications. I got to be there to help him paint, blah, blah, blah. I was like, whatever, it's cool. Everyone come down. And I wanted to get old school artists on the left 80s going to 90s, then 2000s, 2010s. I had this whole fucking plan, yeah. And I wanted like spray cans flying through the air, and on the left there's going to be like the 80s spray cans, you know, the car plans and the buntlacks and all that, and then going into the loops and the belt-ons, and you know, in the 90s, and then going into loops and the whatever in the 2000s. Blah, blah. That was kind of the idea, yeah. Anyway, when the day comes up, I'm allocating spaces for everybody. And I allocate a space for Rich and for Catch, yeah? Anyway, I'm there obviously early in the morning. It comes to 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Rich and Catch still hadn't turned up, yeah? And I've been texting them, no word from them whatsoever. And obviously all the writers now have turned up. And on top of that, many more writers who want a space on the wall. And I'm like, bro, the space is saved, you know what I mean? Like, and I'm texting him going, hurry the fuck up, get down here, you know what I mean? Not even a reply from them, you know what I'm saying? And so I'm like, there's a big gaping gap on this wall, and there's hundreds of writers on my back, yeah, going, I'm gonna paint there. I'm like, no, you're not, yeah. And I'm there like batting them away like flies, you know what I mean? Trying to stop them. They'd start doing the line. I'd be like, stop, you can't do it, you know what I mean?
I could picture you in Jurassic Park when he's doing that with the Velociraptor.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And then and then I completely forgot that I'd asked BAP to turn up, yeah? And someone had taken, like, all the other space was taken except for one other space. So when BAP turned up, I was like, fuck, okay, shit. Like, so I had to squeeze a little bit off theirs for them. Anyway, this whole thing kicked off, and then these guys were arguing over the spot, and then in the end, I was like, look, if I don't hear back from them by 3 p.m., you can take the spot. 3 p.m. hit. They took the spot at 3:10. I get a message from Catch going, we're on our way. We're coming now. And I told him it's too late, man. I'm sorry. And then he goes, look, he's like, Rich is a big guy. Yeah, he's a big guy. If he comes down there and there's nowhere to paint, he's going to kick off. And I was like, bro, then don't bring him. I was like,
that's a big guy.
Yeah. Well, no, but I wasn't about to get back to fight. I mean, of course not. Yeah. It was all my fault at the end of the day, but I was like, bro, fault, man. Like, I was like, I'm sorry, but it's been taken, man. I'm sorry.
Did you say I held it till 3 o'clock for fuck's sake?
They got mad at me, man, over that. And I was like, what am I supposed to do, man? Like,
yeah, I mean, there's a lot of writers in London and not many walls. So
yeah,
no, there's plenty of walls, man. There's plenty of walls in London.
I know, but if every London writer turns up to a Trellick,
well, yeah. Yeah, at Trellick, there's limited walls. Yeah, for sure. Anyway, I'm not making a big deal out of this. It's all love. Catch, I love him. Rich is a legend. It's all love. All right, peace and love, people. It's just whatever. But yeah, so Matt, I want to know, since have you painted now in Virginia since you've been there?
Oh yeah, a few times.
A couple times. And you painted in Chicago, and you painted in South Africa. I remember seeing your things. You know what? Right now, for the first time on the YouTube video, guys listening to this, if you watch us on our YouTube channel, I'm going to be putting up pictures now of some work from my man Matt here. You're going to send me some flicks. Yeah, it's new. So okay. I'm asking you now, is that all right? I'm asking you live right now.
yeah.
Send me some flicks from all the countries that you've been to. I'm going to post them right now. But tell us, like, maybe some differences you've seen or thought of while you've gone to these different countries.
You were in a sick crew in Bangkok. No, what was that crew?
BSD?
Yeah, we started that because when I went to Bangkok, there was only Disco out there from Essex, Disco. WSR. Like,
oh, he's English.
Yeah. He's paid a fuckload. He was like kind of.
What does BSD stand for?
A few things, but it started off as okay. So in Bangkok, you got the main roads and you got the back streets, and they're called sois.
What is it? Is it blow sucky? I'm just kidding. Sorry.
So the back roads are called sois, and you get these things called soy dogs, which are like just like dogs who just live on the streets.
Wow.
Just stray dogs, and then at night they come up, like they become packs. Like they're children a day, they just sleep. You can go up and stroke them if you're feeling brave. But at night they form packs, and they can sometimes go after people. So I'm painting like with Disco, and then Druid from Paris comes along. First time I met him, and I was like, should we start like a kind of we're called Farangs out there.
What a crew is called a Farang?
No, a Westerner is called a Lang.
Okay.
It's kind of people. Some people take it as a insult.
Like gringo.
Yeah.
When you're in South America,
or Gaijin if you're in Japan. Yeah, it's kind of like that. But there is like, I've forgotten the word for it, but they add a word to Farang, and it means bird shit stain.
Oh, right, okay.
Because we're white and you can't get rid of us, basically. But
I love some of the names for white
hilarious.
people.
It's kind of the difference between the N words ending in an A or a hard R.
No, wait, what's the word? Falang.
Well, it's spelled Farang. Farang, but
okay, that's the name of this podcast, by the way. It's for Farang, all right? I'm calling this episode Farang. But anyway, go on.
But I was like, all right, because we're going to be here for a while. Should we start a crew? And then Druid said, like, I got attacked by soy dogs yesterday, and he showed us like the bite marks. And he was like,
oh shit!
And then he was like, I was thinking of calling it Bangkok soy dogs. I was like, done.
Yeah, Bangkok soy dogs. Secret. All right, BSD. All right, I like that.
And then it kind of grew. Then we start putting the like local Bangkok writers in it.
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
you put the local lads. The local lads got in the crew.
Well, so there is kings.
Is there a healthy scene in Bangkok?
Yeah, man.
Would you say?
Yeah. It's wild because when I got there, we could just paint in the street. It was after Utah and Ether had just left, and they had posted videos of them just doing dubs in the street and doing shutters and things. And they
you were doing a bit of that, no?
But yeah, they
you were posting a lot of graph when you were in Bangkok.
Yeah, it was kind of because it was new, because it was a fairly young scene. It didn't have the stigma it does in places where it's been around for a long time. Yeah. So people didn't really know what we were doing a lot of the time.
But it's also, would you also say, because when I've traveled to like Lebanon, Beirut, or to Brazil, Rio, you can paint during the day. You can literally just pick a wall, as long as it's not like someone's personal private property. But even then, you get away with it ultimately.
Yeah, we were doing that.
And like it's that kind of because it's these countries where the police are so corrupt and there's so much crime going on in the city. Graffiti is considered such a low level crime.
Well, it's different in Bangkok.
Yeah,
there's not much crime going on in Bangkok.
Okay,
and so the police have got to make their money where they can. Which like in Bangkok, the biggest gang are the cops. Like they're the people you got to watch out for. They're the only people I was scared of in Bangkok.
Oh wow! Okay,
because they had so many scams and ways of like shaking down tourists and Westerners. I mean, they kidnapped a friend of mine and tortured him for like 3 days for no reason.
Jesus.
Yeah,
it's like Brazil. In Brazil, I was warned. The police are the people you need to worry about. Then you got to worry about the favelas and the favela dudes and all that stuff. But like the police will rob you. They'll fucking beat the shit out of you.
Well, they try and find reasons.
They even shoot you. Yeah, I had an English guy got shot in the belly by the police and died while I was in Brazil. It was crazy, man. But sorry.
In Bangkok, their usual like shakedown was I'd be walking to like the supermarket on a Monday morning. I'd be grabbed and like they've got these little police boxes on the Sukhumvit, which is the big main roads going through Bangkok, and they'd get me and they'd just drag me in and they'd be like, "You smoke weed, you do cocaine." I'm not going to do the accent because I don't want to sound racist.
Because you have all the tattoos. Because you're covered in tattoos and shit.
They'd give me all your shit and they'd take my wallet and they'd be like, and this is something you don't have to do in Bangkok or Thailand anywhere, is carry your passport around. But the police have kind of made up a rule that you do, and if you don't, you have to pay them. Which is why I put my passport through the wash like 6 times. Because you get in, you walk around 5 minutes in Bangkok, you have to come back and put your stuff in the to wash, and your passport's always on you. Anyway, it leads to me putting my passport to the wash a lot of times. But yeah, they'd grab you and they accuse you of doing cocaine, smoking weed. And I was like, I don't do any of those because I've heard about this.
Yeah.
And then they'd take your wallet and go, well, you could do a piss test, counting your money in front of you and looking through your cards. You could do a piss test, or we could just sort this out now. And I'd always be like, piss test.
Yeah.
And they go to the cups and be like, get the cups to piss. I'll be like, nah, not the top one.
Yeah,
that one from but they worked out like they used to just drive past us doing graph as long as we weren't like doing it in like someone's nice or a business, they drop it. But then they worked out, and this happened to me, that that's another revenue for them if they catch people painting. So I was painting one day. Do you know that guy Delo from up north?
Delo, Dealo,
Dloe. He's up north. He's in 1T. He's come down to London quite a bit. But
I've probably seen it.
But he was like, all right, I've been in Australia. We're coming to Bangkok, and I've like, he's bringing some writers with him. He just like collected some writers along the way. So there's like 2 dudes from Australia, this guy from LA who writes Cab, C-A-B. If you watch Blood In, Blood Out, he's got throw-ups on the LA River in that film.
No way. I love that film, man. Vatos Locos, ese.
Yeah, he's got graphite in there. And this dude from Florida who writes Atomic, and he does this orange character, like the fruit, the orange. And so anyway, he's like, I'm bringing them around yours. We're going painting. I was like, he caught me like by surprise. Yeah. And I was like, I can't be fucked like traveling, because getting anywhere in Bangkok's a nightmare. So I did know like one or two like chill spots where you could 100% get away with painting during the day.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm going to take them to a spot near mine just so I don't have to deal with public transport. And we go around, we start painting, and then the next thing, like all these cops just pull up, like loads of them. Someone's called them. And they start yelling, just screaming at us in Thai, and like and they were going, get in these trucks, get in these vans. And I was like, no, not doing that. I'm not getting in there. And then she's getting more and more irate, and I was like, okay. And everyone's looking at me to like solve the problem.
Yeah, of course.
All these people I've never met before, just like, what's going on? I was just like, I'm going to fix this. I was like, chill, don't worry, I'm going to fix this. I'm going to fix this somehow. I don't know how. And I was like, all right, do I just like talk to them about like, okay, what do you need? And I was like, nah, that might backfire. So I was like, I remembered that it's a very hierarchical system in Thailand. So like everyone knows the big families. So like here we have the royals, there they have like just the big important families. And I knew my wife worked with one of these guys. So I called her and I was like, can you get the most important person in your office on the phone? And she was like, why? And I was like, well, I'm about to be carted off to the police station. She was like, all right, he's in a meeting, but fine. And
shit.
She went and got him.
She genuinely got the guy.
Yeah.
The most senior dude.
Well, he wasn't the most senior, but he was from the most like one of the most important families there. And and he was like, all right, Matthew, what's up? I explained the situation. I was like, I'm going to pass you over to the policewoman. And she went from like screw facing and screaming at me, and she just went, cab. And just like hand the phone back to me and was like, all right, everything's cool, but just to save face, they're going to fine you for using aerosols in public. I know it's not illegal, and they've made it up on the spot.
Yeah, just to make it.
Yeah, they just have to like. They can't just say they can't be embarrassed like this. And I was like, all right, cool. So we all go.
Kind of like that guy who jacked you. Kind of like the guy who jacked you and said, "Look, I gotta look like I'm giving. I've got to look like you're giving me money." But
pretty much. But I had to do the walk of shame. I had to be like the Farang doing the walk of shame, accompanied by the policeman to the ATM. Everyone's on the streets shouting like, "What's he done, scumbag?" Bird shit.
Farang.
Yeah.
Because now
were they harder on you? Were they harder on you because you lived there when you saw?
Do you know what? I didn't learn enough Thai. Druid was constantly getting in trouble, but he could speak Thai, so he talked himself out of a lot of situations. If you can speak Thai, they take it like because it's not just a different language. It's like differently written. It's like such a hard language to learn.
Different. Yeah. And no, just even, making that effort already lowers their guard a little bit more, man. I found that in Brazil, learning Portuguese helped a lot, even if it was just a little few phrases and stuff, man. And what I found in Brazil with the corrupt police, when they did approach you, you knew straight away they just want money. That's all they fucking want, man. And they will start high. They'll start with, we want 5,000 reals, or we're going to take you to prison. You know what I mean? They'll threaten you with all this shit. And if you live there and you know the coup, you'll be like, you understand what's going on. You know they just want money, but they'll ask for like 5,000 reals, which is like £1,000 at the time. And most tourists, if you didn't know, you just be like, just take my money, just don't take me to prison. But like, I knew that all they want is 20 quid.
Yeah. Well, so it cost me 100 that day, 100 quid.
Well, there we go. Yeah, exactly. So I knew in the end, I'd just be like, look, bruv, I know this is your week salary right here. Take it and fuck off. You know? And obviously, I wouldn't say it in those words, but you know what I mean? You just be like, look, just take that and just leave us alone. And they always would. They might like go on, I need this just to save face or whatever. And you'd be like, okay, whatever.
It was cool in Bangkok. Like the local writers were super welcoming and friendly.
So there is a healthy local scene there, because I imagine Bangkok, because there's so many tourists pass through there. I imagine like 50% of the graph there is done by people from out of town.
Well, you were there for you were near the beginning of the scene, no?
No, it's been around for a while.
When it was kicking off.
It hadn't been around since the 80s, obviously, but it's a lot bigger now than it was when I first got there. But The guys I used to paint with there are still going strong, man. They're like the core scene. Like everyone gets along there. There's no like, not really rivalries or anything. And everyone's respect. There's like an age hierarchy thing of respect. So the older writers get respected. Well, not so much in the UK.
So the scene there, I'm imagining now is confined enough that those type of things can still be relevant. You know, like the older writer, everyone recognizes, okay, he's an OG, this guy is new, and they respect it to a certain level, you know what I mean? Yeah. Compared to like some cities that are so big with a massive, vibrant scene, like, you know, everything gets convoluted and thrown up against each other.
It's heavily bombed, Bangkok.
Yeah.
And you'll see names there from, like you said, all over the world.
From all over the shop, I bet. Because Bangkok as well is one of them spots. It's like a stop-off spot on your way to Thailand, on your way to Dubai, on your way to Australia, on your way to wherever. Yeah. It's like one of them spots where people just stay for a couple of nights and then fuck off.
Yeah, I met a lot of like writers from around the world there.
That's deep, man. I tell you what.
Bangkok soy dogs still getting put up.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, boy.
Put me in it, man. Let me be in it. No, I'm just kidding. Yes, you know what? I want to ask you about South Africa because that intrigues me as well. I was chatting to Relay. You know that writer Relay?
Yeah, he was there. He went there just after I left.
He told me some fucked up stories, man, about South Africa. Salute to Relay. I think his missus is South African. I don't know. I could be mistaken.
I think that's why.
Anyway, yeah, I think. But I just wanted to play a song for starters, maybe, and we can chat about this before we go into South Africa. What do you guys reckon? Yeah,
I thought you were going to tell us about fucking South Africa. Then I was set for South Africa. We'll just play the bloke.
I'm just saying, let's get a little musical break since we're an hour into the podcast. Maybe we get a little break. You know, a little musical break. Yeah, I mean, we can continue. It's up to you guys.
Play music. Go for it.
Play the goddamn tune. Goddamn it. I want to play a song that Andy sent me. All right. Matt sent me a song, and I've got a song as well. But let's start with Andy's song, man. Which one? Because you sent me two. Which one? Because we're only playing one today. So you let me know which one.
The original Budman old school garage tune.
All right. Okay, cool. This is a song by Myron. We Can Get Down, but it's the Groove Chronicles remix.
There was another tune. There was back in the day. There was two tunes that everyone agreed on were the best garage tunes of all time.
100%.
This was one of them.
Yeah,
I can't remember what the other one was.
What does it go like?
I can remember it was bassy and shit like that.
What, by Groove Chronicles?
No, it was just the other definite certified best tune in garage.
No, because
there was like two main ones.
No, because there was
This is one of them, this Groove Chronicles one, and then the other one is I can't remember.
Well, in that case, I disagree with you that this is even the best Groove Chronicles tune, man.
You're going to say Gabrielle.
No, I love Gabrielle, but no, I wasn't going to say that, but I do love that fucking song. No, you know that Groove Chronicles one that samples Aaliyah?
Yeah, but it's not like,
it's
like,
a
this
big,
was like a bit more dirty garage. Yeah. That's a great impression.
I can't remember the name of the song. But
Give
anyway.
me some time. No?
No. Man,
all right, I'll go for a piss.
All right, we're going to play this tune now. We're going to play. Go for a piss. Go for a piss.
I kind of want to hear the tune, though.
Okay, let's start the tune. And then
you can talk about it. I'll go for a piss.
Exactly.
Yeah, let him go for a piss and we can chat about this tune.
Right, let me hear it.
And then play the rhythm when he gets back.
All right. It is a big tune, though, and I'm
going to be garage.
Yeah,
you got pissed now.
This is a big tune, though. I was a big garage head back in the day.
I was slipping between jungle and garage, but when these tunes came out, there was only certain certified garage tunes. I was like, nah, there's nothing you can do about that. I don't know if you'll hear the bass on this.
Yeah. You gotta have headphones on for the bass.
And the bass drops twice. There's one bass line, boom, 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 and there's another bass line. Man, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, the sub bass comes in.
I remember like Pure Silk. Remember these raves? Pure Silk. You had to look. Yeah, exactly. Everyone like Pure Silk, Versace with three eyes. You like Nike white hat and that. Man,
That was the dance move, the pigeon step.
Yeah. It was a good vibe. Jungle was getting a bit hectic.
If you
either loved it or not.
Wanted to check
but
the
garage was always there. If you wanted to take your missus or you wanted to meet the guy of them, you know what I mean? You went to go garage. Not going One Nation, we'll go pure silk. Nah.
If you wanted to link a yatty, you had to go in the garage room, man. You had to go in the garage room for sure.
This tune is hard.
It's a big tune.
You hear that other bass line as well. Wait.
Yeah, you're right, because there's
that subwoofer there.
There's this bass line. Yeah. Boom, 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 boom. And then the next bass line comes in. Yeah.
Wow. Do you remember Pure Silk had a low ceiling, man? It was like wet, dripping around, man. It was mental, Pure Silk.
Wait, the drop's coming in.
White mosquito jeans, Reebok classic kind of range. Anyone can remember the other tune I'm on about. If someone was saying it's this tune or this other tune, anyone can remember.
Andy, wait, hold on. Wait, I can't hear you over the music. Sorry, brother. Wait, hold on 1 sec. Let it play for another 30 seconds, and then we can chat.
Anyway, stop the rhythm.
Yeah.
Can I just say something? For like, I was never into garage, but for such like a nice, like gentle sound, how many people like got into fights in boulevards listening to that? Yeah,
got bottled listening to that shit.
That's
so many
the English culture. We were just saying, when jungle was getting a little bit crazy, a little bit too, for lots of people, it was getting a bit too.
Yeah.
And garage was there. It was always there, kind of around the same time.
Yeah,
but definitely for a period of the same.
A little bit after jungle, but yeah, pretty much the same time.
Yeah, but you could decide to go there instead of going to a jungle rave. You could suddenly decide to go to Pure Silk or something. Remember Pure Silk rave with like really low ceiling.
Yeah. I'd be more chance of going home with a lady in that place, right?
Yeah, and meeting women there. There'd be women there.
Yeah,
I mean, the women in the jungle rave would be like certified nutters. You know what I mean? You'd be like, fuck this. But
I definitely went home with a few jungle chicks as well. But yeah, definitely in the garage rave, if you could dance to it, you know what I mean, and get a girl to dance to it, then you definitely have more of a chance.
It was a little bit nicer. The scene was nicer. The scene was looking good, dressing in nice garments, trying to do all this kind of shit.
But like Matt says though, man, you were just as much as likely to get into a ruck in a fucking garage rave as anywhere, man.
Outside maybe, but not in the rave. You get robbed in a jungle rave. You know what I mean? But garage is different.
But I tell you what, the hardcore junglist people, they were into the music. You know what I mean? You could find that crowd and you'd just be in there with them, just getting busy to the music. Of course, there were rude boys and all that stuff, but in garage...
No, but it attracted a massive rude boy scene completely.
Yeah, it's the worst kind of sound to feed someone who's already like kind of feeling a bit
already aggy. Yeah. Drum and bass definitely like reinforces that agginess. But I think maybe with the garage, because of the female element, maybe that made men a little bit more rowdy, maybe, with all the girls and then the guys there trying to show off in front of the girls. I'm not even kidding. I think there was an element of that going on as well. Because I remember in a few like Gas Club. Who remembers Gas Club down in Soho? I remember going there a few times and guaranteed someone's going to kick off in there at some point. It was
what
pretty.
Was the pub? Okay, so you're on Ealing Broadway. You go down towards like where the Uxbridge Road starts to be Ealing Common.
Yeah,
there's a pub there.
Yeah.
On the other side of the road,
on the right or the left.
Anyway, whatever the name was, we used to go and sit on the bench opposite. It was the Dodgy Offie was behind us. Can't remember what it was called, but he used to sell us beers after hours. Anyway, we'd sit there, and this would be like in between.
Oh, the Priory. The Priory.
No, it wasn't the Priory. Like it had a proper pub name, but
Okay.
There was that period between the pubs closing and going.
The Hunters. No, the Hunter.
No, this was
it had like a deer on the front. No,
I'd remember.
No, okay.
It could have had arms in it, which would be appropriate.
Mom's house in your mom's house.
But we would go.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
But this pub was notorious, so we would. It's where I don't know why people would go there. Like a certain mindset of people would go there, but we'd get thrown out the pub, whatever. Closing time. This pub was open a bit later, and in between going to the party or the house party or whatever, where we're going, we'd sit on the bench and just watch the fights happen. And it was like every Friday or Saturday. We were never disappointed. There's always some bloke in Ben Sherman shoes, like, just bottling someone else.
Oh, that was Ealing Broadway Boulevard. Yeah, Ealing Broadway Boulevard, aka Bullies.
Yeah.
Tuesday night was student night.
Yeah.
£1 a pint. Yeah. You could go in there, drink yourself silly on.
It was in the mall, wasn't it? It was like the queue was outside Ealing Mall.
Yeah, and
I was going to student night when I was still in St. Benedict's.
Yeah, we all were. I was going there from when I was 14, 15.
Yeah.
And guaranteed, afterwards, we'd all walk outside and everyone would be standing outside waiting for the ruck to kick off just to check out the ruck.
Once I was the ruck.
I was the ruck a couple of times, but yeah.
Yeah, I got beaten up. Well, not beaten up badly, but like there was no respect for like kids back then. Imagine you saw like a 40-year-old kicking the shit out of a 13-year-old like these days. You'd step in and you go, what's going on? Like 16, 17-year-old like. I used to get into fights with like bitter olds, like beer gutted, like just been through a divorce, coked up fucking Barrys every week. I was like a cocky little shit, but they still hit me.
Yeah. Mate, I remember once there was some kids from my school, who were older kids, and they were all in bullies, and they were chucking it with me, or maybe I was chucking it with them. I can't remember. And then it got to where we're outside now, and there was like a group of like 5 or 6 of them. And I was there. I remember Rasper was there and a couple of other heads were there, but they weren't involved. Yeah. And then these dudes all wanted to fight me for some reason. Blatantly, I gave them a reason. I'm not playing innocent here, but I remember I had at the time my infamous Versace belt. Yeah, I had a belt that I got off my cousin, and it was a leather belt with Medusa heads, like solid, metal Medusa heads all the way around. And so I used to I remember seeing all 5 of them, and I took out my belt. Yeah, no. That's it. All these guys, they were shouting in my face there, and people were holding them back. And I was like, yeah, fuck you, come we go. And then I remember Rasper coming into my ear going, yo, man, check your belt, man. Take your belt and whip these motherfuckers. And I was like, oh, yeah. And so, like, I took my belt out, and I just held it over my head. And there was, like, 5 dudes in front of me, big guys, all coming towards, like, hey, come on, hey, come on. You know when people, like, they're like, come on, let's fight. When they...
Yeah, they kind of go just forward and back and forth. Yeah. It's like England fans, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Just fucking do it if you're going to do it. Stop shouting about it. And so I took my belt out, and I just remember waving around my head and just going like that. And then they'd all flinch like that, and it was just everyone was cracking up at these dudes. I'll never forget that. It was hilarious. But yeah, man, that's such a big tune, man. I love them garage days, man. I still love garage,
I love
man.
the way you switch back to the tune after
He's
talking
a pro.
about the murderers.
I'm a pro, man. You know,
there was a rumor. I don't know if it's true or not. A rumor of you giving someone. We might have spoken this in the podcast. Giving someone a serious lick down. If it's with a belt, it's called a lick down.
No, I remember
in Ealing Common, like the Common.
Yeah,
Haven
it
Green.
wasn't. It was on Pitts Hanger Park. It was in Pitts Hanger. I rewatched that episode, and at the time when you mentioned it, I said nah. But then I remembered it when I rewatched it, and it was actually in Pitts Hanger Lane. Yeah, and I was with Adolf. You remember Adolf?
I remember Adolf. He was
Frez's cousin.
Yeah, that guy had a lot of energy.
Yo, listen, he was a fucking tearaway. I saw him not too long ago, man. The guy is fixed up. He's the super
I remember
cool.
whenever we come back from Q on the 65, he was the one that always instigates some kind of problem.
He was that dude, and he was younger than us as well. But he was a proper fucking tearaway. That guy, and he had like, you know what? I don't want to. You know, I love this kid, man. I grew up with him.
You got to say it's fine, man. It was fucking 20 years ago.
But I just want to put a disclaimer that these are my family, like friends of the family. I love these people, and like we all did fucked up shit in the past. You know what I mean? So like, just in case if he ever sees us, I don't want him to think that I'm shitting on him. I'm not. I love this kid, and right now he's He's grown up. He's successful. He's beautiful. He's really handsome. He's got rid of those fucking glasses. He's got like decent.
I remember those.
Yeah, he's got the Armani chill shit. Dude is cool, and he's been cool for a long time. But back when he was a teenager, he was a fucking hellraiser, man. And the thing is, it was because his mum called him Adolf, man. Because every school he went to, the first register, imagine Adolf. And he'd be like, here. And everyone's like, Sieg Heil to him. And then he'd kick the shit out of them. And he'd get kicked out of school. And he got kicked out of 7 or 8 different schools. And I remember the last school he went to before he got sent off to his dad in Dubai. Because now he still lives in Dubai. And he was sent there when he was like 16, 17. Because he got kicked out of every school. I remember the last school he went to, yeah. He fucking, in the assembly of the first day, he turned up and he's sitting in the crowd, and the headmaster's doing the speech, at the beginning of school year to the whole school. And he does a speech, and then he points out Adolf and goes, yeah, this kid is a troubled kid and he's been sent here, and like singled him out in front of everybody. And Adolf got up, grabbed the nearest chair to him and flung it at the headmaster during the assembly. And then obviously he got kicked out of that school and like got arrested for assault and shit. And then that was the last straw. That's when he got sent to Dubai and all that.
But like in Dubai, this is what I found out in Thailand, to bring it back. Like that was untouched by the war pretty much. And like swastikas were kind of fashionable. So you'd see like young kind of like hip girls walking around with like a t-shirt with just like Hitler on the front.
No way.
Like a portrait of Hitler and a swastika, and there was a chicken shop called Hitler Chicken.
Yeah, but it wasn't because of the Indian, the swastika
these were like the German swastikas.
Fuck.
He was one of the chill Buddhist ones, man. Huh?
It wasn't the Hindu symbol.
No, 100% was the swastika, Nazi swastika.
Why though? What, they just hate Jewish people?
No, they don't know what it means. It's just like a trendy thing to do, man.
Oh my God.
It's weird.
That's crazy.
Arms house to your mum's house. To your mom's house.
Have you been seeing what Kanye West has been doing recently? I mean, I don't want to, be that dude bringing him up, but as a hip hop head, I can't ignore that.
This is the thing about this is the beauty of America and its curse is you can be whatever you want to be. Like here, you can go from like rapper to neo-Nazi. You can just do whatever you like.
Yeah, but what do you think about the theories that I've been seeing? Yeah, people are saying that no, Kanye's a genius. He wanted to get out of these contracts that he was tied into. So the only way he could get out of the contracts is to do and say the shit that he's been doing to free himself from this shit. That's what people are saying. Like the real hardcore Kanye fans, that's how they're defending him.
Well, acting insane in America is never a good idea. Like I got sectioned for having a panic attack. That was my first week in America. Got sectioned.
Jesus. Yeah, but for what? Do you want to talk about it?
I can do. It's
and he got sectioned.
It's a funny story because they let me keep my phone. Because I was like live reporting.
No, wait. Set the scene.
Okay.
Set the scene. You're here for a week. You're where? In Chicago?
Yeah.
No. Yeah,
I'm in Chicago. I've had a very stressful move. It's been like leaving Cape Town. We'll go back to Cape Town if you want. But some gangsters tried to rob us on the trackside. I was painting a trackside. And I kind of like...
In Chicago?
No, in Cape Town. I was painting daytime trackside. This is the prelude to the...
Yeah. Cape Town.
Okay.
It's real.
Anyway, these gangsters see us. We're painting the trackside. They walk down and they start like trying to... Well, they tried to rob my friend. And my friend... Well, not my friend. My friend's friend who came along with us today. Fucker. He just turns to me and is like, they're trying to get money off me. I don't have any. Can you lend me some money?
Oh, shit.
And that's like transferring the robbery to me immediately.
To someone in a robbery.
Basically bringing you in on the robbery.
Yeah. And and the guy, one of the gangsters was like, you've been very rude, like pointing to me. I was like, what? He's like, I've been speaking and you haven't been paying attention. And he was just listing all the people he'd killed. And I was just like, just zoning out painting. Like,
and in South Africa, you don't fuck around. Like this is like this is real. It's not like some bullshit.
If you've got like
these are dudes that have been killed.
Yeah, these are numbers gangs, like people. Yeah. You just watch the Ross Kent documentary on them.
Yeah.
And anyway, I turned on the charm offensive and just shared whiskey with them and smoked cigarettes and deflected. And they were fine. They were cool. They went off in the end. But sharing the whiskey with them meant I had like I caught some like proper like prison throat infection.
Oh shit!
And I had to deal with deal with moving with that and having to go like to an interview at the US Embassy, like just anyway,
man, with the fever and all that shit.
And then I got to America, and everything that could have gone wrong went wrong. So I'm dealing with so much stress all day. And
your poor wife, man. That's all I'm going to say. Your poor wife, she's got to deal with you. You know, I'm just kidding.
She'd agree.
She loves you. She loves you. It's all love.
So I'm like, okay, I need to get this fixed because I'm not sleeping. I'm having anxiety all day. I'm having panic attacks. I'm having like proper like rage of everything every time something goes wrong. So I was like, I'll go see a doctor, get a couple of Valiums, maybe some like beta blockers, a couple of sleeping pills, just something to tide me over till this. I got a couple more weeks of stress left. So I didn't know this, but if you need doctors here are called primary care providers. So I was putting doctor into Google Map and trying to call around and get a doctor's appointment. If I just put primary care provider, I would have been able to walk in somewhere, sat in a waiting room for an hour and then seen someone. But anyway, I get through to doctor. He's like, look, you need a psychiatrist for this medication. And I was like, okay, I'm new to this. I don't know what the coup is. And he's like, you know, that could take a few days. The best thing to do would be to walk into a hospital and say you need to see a psychiatrist.
Oh my God. I can imagine.
Someone marching in through the front door of a hospital.
I'm imagining that scene from 7. Have you seen 7? When the guy walks in the police station, he's like, "Officer, you're looking for me."
That's how I was treated.
Blood all over him. Yeah.
Yes. So I walked in, took his advice, said I need to see a psychiatrist, and the nurse, the reception, just pointed over to a security guard and just beckoned him over.
Oh my God.
And he marched me down to like a locker room and stripped me, took all my possessions, put me in a gown and those like hospital socks with the rubber things on it.
What, just for saying I need to see a psychiatrist? This is bam, he's down the hallway.
I'm detained immediately. And then so I'm in this gown, the socks, and he takes everything else. And then I'd led down the hallway and I'd get sat down next to imagine like there's like 5 rows of seats. And like people, the other 4 people need to see a psychiatrist or be like sectioned, and I'm just having a panic attack. And I sat down on the right of me. There's a guy in a wheelchair, like a gangbanger, like a proper like Chicago gangbanger, and he's got like a colostomy bag because of like bullet wounds he's had in his stomach in the past.
Damn.
And he's pulling out like the stoma tube and just squirting everyone with like bodily fluids.
No.
And I'm sitting there going, "What have I done? I should have just stayed
Where
at
am
home."
I? Yeah.
And the guy on the left of me was like, "Fuck this, I'm leaving." And he gets up, and the security guards walk over and just push him back down the chair.
Oh my
God! And they're like, "We can like sit there and shut the fuck up, else we'll just sedate you and detain you, like tie you up basically." And I was thinking, like, "All right, I'm not leaving then." But the sedation sounds fun, but I'm not going to risk like pissing these guys off. And then I sit there for a few hours, and then they move me upstairs, and they just put me in a room and like lock the door, and it's just me in a bed and a camera looking at me. But I've still got my phone, so I'm kind of live streaming all this, going, "What the fuck?"
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I think a doctor turned up, and I wasn't allowed to use the toilet because there weren't enough security guards to escort me there and back, so I had to use a bucket.
Fucking hell.
And then
in the cell that you were in.
Yeah, and then a doctor turned up, and he was like, "So what's going on here? You're waiting for a psychiatrist?" I was like, "I'm just having a panic attack." He was like, "Why have they locked you in here? That can't be fun." I was like, "No."
You fucking tell me.
I was like, "This is making the situation a little worse for me, if I'm honest."
Is it? Do you think it's because in America they're so like they're so litigation happy or they like to sue people. So if you come in and say, "Look, I need a psychiatrist," instantly they're going to think, "Look, we need to subdue this." I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to work out.
I think it was more, everyone kept asking me if I wanted to harm myself or other people. Because in America, if you're having a tough time, if you want to harm yourself, like the cultural thing to do is like harm as many people before you harm yourself, which is like,
that's what they do out there.
Yeah. So there's that danger.
And so, do you think also the way you look with all the because you're covered in tattoos and like, you know, there's certain stereotypes.
This was winter.
So you're covered up.
Yeah, well, I was until they took off my clothes and And they're like, the doctor comes in and he was like, okay, I'll leave the door ajar for you. Anyway, a psychiatrist comes in. I'm locked in this room for like 12 hours. Psychiatrist comes in and goes, what's wrong? What's going on? And I was like, I've just been having a panic attack and just need like, I just need some sleep. And she was like, oh, all right. Well, let me just let you go. I just need to do some paperwork. She went off for a couple of hours, came back, and I was released back into Chicago at 3 a.m. with like 1% battery on my phone. And then I was like, all right, well, that was a shitty experience.
On your first week.
Yeah. And then they sent me a check, a bill for $5,000.
Oh my God, man. Fucking hell.
But I used America against America. So, like,
did you contest?
You know what? I want to say
I didn't pay it. I threatened to sue them, and they were like, "All right, it's fine."
Yeah. Listen, and this is perfect for like, because I don't know if Matt, if you're aware, today, what's the date today? Is the 15th of December. We're recording this. The nurses on the NHS are striking. 100,000 nurses are striking for better pay. Yes, fucked up. Like, we need to fight for these nurses. Wait, what did you mention before? What did you say just before? I interrupted.
The bill,
$5,000 for the thing, which I didn't pay.
The amount, for paying for this shit. Like I remember Spire. I know Spire. He's not liked by some people. Whatever. I don't know.
Me
but I remember him. Fair enough. But I remember him like. I swear it was him. Maybe I'm mistaken. My memory is shit. Yeah. But I remember someone posting up on Instagram that they like jumped over a fence and they'd like fucked up their leg. And so they called an ambulance and they were in LA. And then they called an ambulance, got to the hospital, whatever. And then it was an $800 bill for the ambulance.
Yeah. This is why if someone gets shot or knocked down, like in the street in America, like don't call that. Like before they pass out, don't call ambulance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's the most crazy thing. Like now we're so privileged here to have the NHS where we don't have to worry about that shit. If you're injured, you can call the ambulance and they'll come get you and help you. Hopefully, if they're not, obviously it's not a perfect system. I'm not saying it's a perfect system, but we don't have to worry about that fucking bit. You know what I mean? And we take that shit so for granted here, man.
Yeah,
it's insane.
You do.
And when I hear about stories like that in America, I'm just like, please don't make it like America. Sorry, Andy?
What happens if you can't pay? You know what I mean? Surely people get hit by a car.
You're just in debt.
They don't pay you in debt. It's cool for homeless people. They get like treatment and they just run up a bill.
That's what I'm saying. Like, homeless dudes, they get treatment and then get told to just to bounce like the NHS.
Yeah, but
I'm sure a lot of people die because they don't want to call the ambulance.
I had private insurance in Bangkok and Cape Town through my wife's work.
Yeah.
The hospitals there were absolutely immaculate. Like some of the best hospitals I've ever been to in the world.
Yeah, people fly to Bangkok to get treatment. Yeah.
And I moved to America and it's even more expensive. And then we still have to pay. People think American health insurance, they cover it. Oh God, no. They don't cover it. They cover like 50% if you're lucky. And a lot of the time they can just be like, nah, we're not covering a thing. And the hospitals there are just as shit as they are in the UK.
Yeah.
Which are good because they're free.
I don't want to shit on the English hospitals, man. Look, they've helped me out plenty of times in the past, Yeah. And even like I had a girlfriend came over from Brazil and she was staying with us just for 3 weeks. And then she got like a mad ear infection. She had fucking blood coming out of her ear. And I was like, look, we're going A&E. I took an A&E.
Health tourist.
Yeah. And it was cool. It was all good. But she hated when we went to the pub and they got to 11 p.m. and they were like, ding, ding, ding. And she was like, what's that noise? And she was like, yeah. I was like, pub closes. She was like, what?
It's so embarrassing when you got to tell that to like, anyone.
Yeah. We're here drinking. Yeah. Why are they going to close? You know what I mean? So there's ups and downs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yo, listen, shall we go into your tune, man? Matt, you suggested a song for us. Yeah.
Yeah. There's no backstory to this. I was thinking about like doing a 90s tune that kind of brought me back. So this one,
that's my tune. My tune does that. But
this one is purely because I recently got Spotify, like in under a year ago, just to try and find new music because I'm kind of stuck in my ways and I wanted to like see what's going on. And all the hip hop was utter fucking garbage. I don't know if it's because I'm here, but I gave up. I hated it. And then this track came along. It's not like American, but it just gave me hope that good hip hop's still being made.
Oh yeah, man, it definitely is. And this guy, King Kashmir is the guy that you suggested.
Kashmir.
Kashmir is a UK legend, man, but he's definitely underrated. I will tell you that now, man. Like, the guy is sick. He's also known as the Iguana Man.
Yeah.
What other names does he go under? He goes under a few names, but King Kashmir, he's a fucking sick MC and a sick producer as well, man. I really, really love this guy's music. He's done collaborations.
It reminded me of. Do you remember when Dr. Octagon started?
Yes.
Yeah, it's kind of like, it's good hip hop, but with a slight different slant.
Definitely, Dr. Octagon is, I would imagine, is a big inspiration for him for sure. Cool Keith and Dan the Automator, all them boys that did that stuff. Yes, it's left field hip hop. Like, I don't know how to explain it. It's just dope music, man. And this is a relatively new song by him. He's been making music since, like, I think the late 90s. I don't know. Theme, do you know Kashmir?
I did a little research on him. It's like,
yeah,
I think he started like 2010 or something, maybe. Not
okay.
Maybe a bit later.
All right, I thought he was earlier than that. I thought.
Well, I think that's when he released his first album or something.
Maybe. You know what? I have no idea. Theme, do you know Kashmir? Have you met him?
I don't know him personally very well.
I know he's worked with a lot of people that you've done stuff with.
Yeah, big time. I'm thinking before 2010, but that's probably when the album dropped. Because I don't remember if him did like Deal Real and stuff like that.
Yeah, maybe. That's the thing. I mean, I know he did the thing called what was it called? Strange Universe, I think, was a new thing that he did in the last couple of years. But anyway, let's get into this tune. This is King Kashmir with Leatherette.
Galactus.
I never heard of Leatherette. I don't know if Leatherette is the guy who produced this or the guy or girl. I don't know. But it's King Kashmir featuring Leatherette. It's a song called G-Cell. Check it out.
System fully operational.
For real. Hey yo, what the fuck is next? The underground sound for Planet X. The rat, flex, the sword of Mars and the severed head. You thought the wizard fell off, but I was never dead. I was on the ninth planet with Enlil and came back to Guy's green earth to let the red spill.
His style is so cool, man. Some with the whole fuck.
You better take it off. Cause I'm about to increase the Fahrenheit. I'm about to crash land the Black Knight satellite. You never know my true form because it's classified. I can only deal with the signs when it is amplified.
Yeah, very Dr. Octagon. Dr. Octagon style for sure.
Yeah.
The father, each spells harder. The fleck drama with the G-cell armor. The father, each spells harder. The fleck drama with the G-cell armor.
Yeah, I would definitely class this more left field. I don't know. I don't like compartmentalizing music, but
I like how he raps slightly off the beat.
Yeah.
With the G-cell
and they love using like effects in the voice and like, you know.
Easy, like candy from a small child. Guess you wanna see a demonstration, but I'm bored now. I pull down
he was high focus for a little bit. He was on high focus.
Looking like a cigar-shaped object.
Looking like a cigar-shaped object. Like the way he delivers his lyrics, the way he's
slightly
like,
after the
shell. Slightly after he's off kilter with the flow, but he's very after he's like punchlines are coming at you like that, you know what I mean? And line after line, and he's really clear and precise with the rhymes like this, and he's humming with the high, with the he, with the this, you know. I love it. I love Kashmir, man. What do you think, Andy?
Is he still high focus?
Yeah.
Well, this came out on High Focus. Yes, I wanted to say this tune came out on High Focus. Big up Flip Tricks.
Because he did with Michael Parker. He did stuff on Y&R as well with Michael.
With Jest and with a bunch of them.
You know, when I worked in a tattoo shop in Cape Town, like one of their favourite things they'd put on was like just High Focus playlists on YouTube.
Yo,
really?
Yeah. I kind of introduced them to it, but once I had, they were like, "All right, we're in."
I mean, yo, man, like, yeah, because High Focus, they smash it. I really like the stuff they put out. I mean, I don't like everything they put up, but they definitely have that. Fliptrix, the guy who runs it, he's not only a long-time MC. He had to grow on me, to be honest. Fliptrix, I'm talking about. Like, early on, I remember hearing about him when I was in uni at Brighton. I remember seeing him at a couple of open mics and stuff. But I always rated him though, and seeing where he took High Focus, I really rate him, man. And yeah, they kind of dabble in that real hip hop, as they call it.
And I really like. Well, not just because I'm friends with him, but Dabbler's music.
I was going to bring up Dabbler because you've done some artwork for him a couple times, haven't you?
Well, I think I got to know him because I'd looked after his gecko when he was on holiday a long time ago, and that's how we became friends.
Mate, I rate Dabbler. Dabbler's another one MC that his punchlines and he's just
him
so
and Jam Baxter.
concise. Yeah, Jam Baxter's cool. I prefer Dabbler, to be honest. Jam Baxter's
got
dope.
a massive personality, doesn't he?
The personality comes
on his videos and shit. Look, yeah,
and like just in his lyrics, like he does lyrics where you're like, how did no one think to rhyme those two words before? Like them, it's so simple, but it's like, how did no one think to do that before? But they haven't.
He's a person where if something's if something has happened to me that's been really irritating. I'll know he'll find it funny. So as a way of therapy, if I get really pissed off about something, I'll leave him a voice note on WhatsApp, just everything that's happened to me as a kind of free therapy exercise. So I know it's going to make someone happy,
Now, salute to Dabbler, man. I rate that dude. I've met him a couple of times. He's a cool dude as well. I mean, I don't know him, but I've met him a couple of times. I know Odyssey. Okay, I know Odyssey did some artwork for him as well. For
better than mine.
One of his last albums.
Yeah.
What was it called? Monkey Magic or something? It was like a monkey holding his scarf.
I don't know any song names, any album names anymore.
Anyway, yeah, it's all love. But I tell you what, High Focus. I got a beat on High Focus as well. Yeah, on Fliptrix's album. I think he just released one now, but 2 years ago, during the pandemic, he released the album. And I've got a beat on his album. It's called Alignment. Alignment is the name of the song.
Okay.
Is it Alignment? No way. You know what? I got it here. Hold on. You know what? I'm going to play it. Fuck it. While we're here. Let me put it on here. But yeah, I made this beat for him. And it's kind of, can I tell you the story? It's a weird one how this came about.
If you see me do this, I'm just panicking about Tika.
No, burp, man. Tika, let's give Akit a shout out, man. You know what I mean? But no, let me play this tune. This is Fliptrix, a song called Alignment. I produced the track. It's got cuts and scratches from DJ Thor from DDS. Salute DJ Thor. Let's just listen to this just for a second. If it plays, I hope. There we go. Let me turn it up. Hold on.
On my lane, if it's certain, while you're clientele ain't buying and working a lane. Side the line, another coffee burning. I'm coughing and splurting from all the crops I'm burning. It's catastrophic, so I patterned the sermon. Channel versions of myself running for new below the surface. Elevate my view and gave me hella new.
Yeah, okay, so that's the Fliptrix song, Alignment, produced by your boy here.
That's a very 90s feel.
Oh, super 90s. That's all I do, man. You know what I mean? I love that traditional funk.
Yeah, it's kind of like if it's not... I don't know whether it's because that's what we grew up on, that's when we're most impressionable, and that's what kind of like soaked into us, or if it's like, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Well, it's both, man. It's both. I mean, for me, that's
There's a part of your brain...
Yeah.
When you were growing up, in your adolescence, like 15, 16, 17, maybe before that.
14 years
13,
old.
15,
I think it's 14 years old.
It's when you're absorbing all the things that you kind of musically, and I don't know if all arts, but definitely musically, they were talking about this thing I was reading. Yeah. Where that stuff will forever be your favorite. That stuff that reminds you of that stuff will forever be your favorite. You're that impressionable and you're that kind of like, oh my God, I'm going to dedicate my life to this.
Yeah.
bang.
Well, no, is there a declining quality though? Because like hip hop these days, when I listen to it, I think it's garbage because I'm old. But is it garbage?
No, it's shit. It's completely shit. Unless
the people who are our age now, when we first heard like Wu-Tang, like love it.
Yeah. No, there are some tunes that are.
I'm trying to work that out. The people that are our age now, when they first heard Wu-Tang.
No, people who are 14, 15, 16 in that age range now listen to Wu-Tang and go, yo, that shit's dope. They can't.
No, I was saying they listen to like the worst drill track I've ever heard and go, yeah, this is.
Yeah, they don't listen to Wu-Tang.
Okay.
But is it just like.
But if you play those kids now, Wu-Tang, ain't nothing to fuck with or protect your neck or something, they'll be like, yo, that's dope.
Okay.
Surely they would.
I can try.
I swear, Maddie is really stuck.
Because
he wants to be stuck in this old school thing of
Andy,
hip-hop. If you play someone, if you play your kid, if you're a dude living in New York and you play your kid Biggie Smalls or you know what I mean, Rakim, they're like, yo, pops, what the fuck is this old school shit? Get the fuck up! They don't want to hear that shit. They don't give a shit about it.
No, I disagree, Andy, man. I disagree. Listen,
I know you disagree.
No. I'm not disagreeing just from my opinion, from my experience. I work with a lot of younger people, not 14-year-olds, but I work with a lot of 20, 21-year-olds. Yeah, 20, 21-year-old, 22-year-olds. We're driving the van. Obviously, I'm the driver, so I'm in control of the music and I'm playing tunes, I'm open and I want to learn. So I'm like telling them, look, you play your favorite tunes. You know what I mean? I always usually talk about music. It's a good universal thing to talk about. Oh, what you into? And most of the time when I talk to these young people, what you into? They go, I'm into everything. That's the main answer I get. Yeah. It's very rare you'll get one person going, nah, I'm a hip hop head. I only into hip hop, like especially when it comes to young people. But when we were kids, it was like it was obvious what you're into just by the way you dressed. You know what I mean? Like you could tell who's a goth, who's an indie head, who's a hip hop head, who's a, you know what I mean? Like now it's not so clear. Now because they're exposed and they have access to everything, they're just like, I'm into everything. Spotify, they just put it on shuffle and they just listen to whatever, But like when they hear someone talking passionately about something, they're intrigued and they like it. And then when I play them stuff, I'm not saying they're going, yo, this is my favorite shit ever. I'm not saying that, but they can't deny that it's dope. You know what I mean? They're like, okay, that sounds cool. You know what I mean? And then they start seeing and hearing the influence in the music that they listen to,
Okay. Well, if I ever have a van full of kids, I will start playing them.
Yeah.
Play them.
You'll be in charge of the music, and you'll say, "This is what we're listening to, motherfuckers."
Yeah. I mean, maybe they do silently just agree with me, and then in their heads they're like, "Who's this fucking old dickhead?"
Of course, man.
I mean, yeah, it's probably true.
Well, you're lost.
But I tell you what,
you need to go outside and see what they're listening to.
Nah, but.
Don't put them in your van.
I don't care what age you are or where you're from. If you hear someone talking passionately about something that they're knowledgeable about, you can't help but be intrigued by it.
Or even if it's just good music.
Yeah,
like I listen to soul music a lot. Like the stuff that I basically got into it from recognizing samples on hip hop.
Same
and
with me.
Then I got into like the original tracks. So that's just good music that will never.
And it was purposely done. It was purposely done by Pete Rock, by DJ Premier, by all the Large Professor, all those guys. They weren't just sampling people willy-nilly and going, fuck it. They knew that was good music that they were sampling because it was the music their parents listened to
so
and that they grew up
If
on.
you like the sample, you will like the original just as much as you like the hip-hop track.
Yeah, it's, it's a thing of beauty. That's what I love. And now the music nowadays, because the record labels and stuff, they don't want to pay money to pay for the licensing for sampling. They're like, no, we'd rather go trap because you just go an 808, just put a little drum machine in and then boom, you're done. And that's a big hit now for a week. And then no one remembers it after 2 weeks, like it's just recyclable, disposable. It became more disposable because of the accessibility to it and the easiness of being able to create that music. Back in the day, you had to rent a studio. You had to fucking have a drum machine. You had to have vinyl to sample. You had to, it was a whole fucking thing.
I didn't appreciate what went into it until I watched that Wu-Tang series, the dramatization series.
Oh, wow. Okay. I haven't watched it.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah. I've heard it's good. I need to get into it, man.
I haven't watched it.
I heard it's a little bit cheesy in bits, but
I mean, Jizza produced made it, so
RZA.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he made it, so.
Yeah, but Puff Daddy made the fucking Biggie movie, and that shit was terrible.
It's not like that.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
I didn't know that, but it doesn't surprise me because he comes off well in that film.
Yeah. Exactly. And same with Straight Outta Compton, man. Dr. Dre and everyone comes out looking squeaky clean, but there was definitely
Eazy-E would have made a very different film.
Exactly.
If he had just worn a condom.
Maddie, you reminded me of the guy. You remember the film Paid in Full?
No, that's what I'm calling this episode. If he just worn a condom. Just like that. Yo, man. I mean, let's hear about South Africa a bit more, man. South Africa, where were you based?
I was in Cape Town. South Africa's crazy because it's basically got two different climates depending where you're on the coast.
Okay.
But I was in Cape Town.
Was that on the east, west?
It's like right down the bottom. But if you go around the coast a bit, like the ocean's changed. So, like the ocean where I was absolutely freezing. But if you travel, it looks beautiful, but you can't get into it. Like I couldn't. Yeah. It looks like you're in the Mediterranean, but you put your toe in, you're like, ooh,
freezing.
And what writers were you? What writers were you hanging out with, and what kind of spots were you painting? I mean, I know that you know, obviously, like all of us, you know, in this age now, you know, it's not like we're hardcore, we're out bombing, and we're out to get up and all city. I know it's not like that, but we have an urge to paint. We have a itchy trigger finger. You know what I mean? So I know you're like that as well. So when you have done your thing out there, what's it been like, man? I mean, with the people you rub shoulders with. And...
I was like basically contacted through Instagram, some local writers that turned out to be like my best friends. There's like a graph shop there, and it's run by like the big train writer there.
Yeah. Let me just say quickly, as a person who travels a lot, Instagram is an amazing tool for that, man. Yeah. I mean, it's got its bad sides, but also to link you quickly with When I was in Saudi Arabia, I literally searched the hashtag Saudi Arabia graffiti. And then only a few things came up, but
that's how I met the guy I know here.
Yeah. And it was the dude in Riyadh. I messaged him privately. He got back to me and I was like, I'm in Riyadh. I want to paint some graffiti. And he told me, don't do it because you could get fucked out. And like, I'm just saying, like, you know, it's a useful thing, man. But yeah, sorry. Yeah. So continue.
They hit me up, but South Africa's really sketchy. So I was like, all right, let's go for a pint first, you know.
But you mean sketchy as in the people you meet up with, like you can't trust them online, you got to meet them first. Is that what you're saying?
It could be, you know. I didn't know at the time, but I was meeting up with like the most hated crew in Cape Town. Turned out to be my best friends. They're really good people.
Sick.
And they looked after me. Yeah,
you met them up beforehand?
Yeah, I was like, let's go for a beer, and I sussed them out, and they were cool.
All right, sweet.
But then
they were welcoming. They were chill.
They were so welcoming, just like Bangkok.
Wow. Okay. Sweet.
So I'd either paint I'd paint like you could, because there's so many homeless people living on the tracks. Like you don't look out of place walking down the track, like in the middle of the day.
Yeah.
Which makes like imagine you doing that now, like there'd be helicopters, everything would be shut down.
Yeah, exactly.
But there you can just pop down a track and just pick a spot and start painting.
So there was a big transit system out there? No. It's like the overground, or is it like freight?
It's overground.
Yeah.
It's very third world. I don't mean I don't like using that word.
That's like the
No, I get what you mean when
worst
you say
area.
But yeah, the trains like don't come on time. A lot of robberies go on them. People set fire to them all the time, or they used to when I was there.
So it's like the 90s in England, but now.
Yeah, but without the trains being on fire.
Oh, what? Yeah, yeah, but fire, including fire.
But they're all painted. They're all like covered in nice pieces.
Oh shit! Okay.
But that was like there were two contingents. There were kind of like the train painters, and then just like the bombers who would get up like on the tracks and in the cities, and other people would just paint trains. You know.
And so what? So you linked these dudes, and they took you out. They took you to some spots. And
Yeah,
what were the warning signs? Because when I met with graffiti writers in Brazil, they said, like, before we went anywhere, they told me, look, they like kind of they told me the ground rules. You know, I don't know if that's what you experienced as well.
Well, I don't know. Cape Town is so like, there's just so much violence there. There's no like wrong place, wrong time. Like you can always be in the wrong place, wrong time. So you just kind of live with that, and kind of no matter where you are. Like one of the first things I noticed when I moved there is, you know, in like the UK, homeless people they tend to stay in one place and they ask you for money as you walk past them.
Yeah.
In Cape Town, they like cling on to you and they will follow you the entire like whatever walk you're doing, and be like, give me some money, give me some money, give me some money, buy me some food, buy me some food. And I'm talking every time you leave your house, where I was living.
No, that's like in Brazil, but with the kids, the street kids.
Oh, these were grown men with gang tattoos, and they were like, and then it's like a lot of them just give up and fuck off, and some of them be like, you know, I don't have to be nice about this, like, don't let me use a knife, and you just be like, do what you gotta do, man, and just keep walking. They'd eventually leave. But everywhere in Cape Town was like that, and especially the places you'd paint. So you just had to. I think I disarmed a lot of people when I started talking, because a lot of people come up and start talking to you, and then you start talking to them, and they're like, what the fuck is this guy doing here?
Oh, what, they'd notice your English.
Where the fuck are you from, Blue?
Yeah.
They'd be like, yeah, this guy has balls coming here in the first place.
But and I'd also go and paint the townships. So, you know, like what happened in apartheid, like all the black people, coloured people were moved out of like Cape Town and put into townships, which are basically like, you know, favelas.
On those tracks and shit, no?
No, they're just like, they're still huge townships. Like when you get, if you go from the airport, the first thing
you call them townships. Are they ghettos?
Yeah.
Or no, so there's nice areas. No, they're just basically
I mean, there's some like structural buildings like made out of concrete, but most of it's corrugated iron and
favelas. Like you said,
it's like 50-50. But that's
the tracks often run through, no?
Yeah,
it's basically on the line.
But yeah, the first thing you'll see if you get the taxi into town from the airport is a huge township called Kalicha. And then there's a few more with different names. But I used to go and paint them as well.
Yeah,
just because no one gave a fuck. And you know, they kind of like.
But was it about who you knew and like you
had to have an in? You can't just pop into a township like.
Same like Brazil, man. Yeah. Same with Brazil.
I was friends with a rapper though, who lived in one of them, and he would he would be like with me, not like.
You should have suggested one of his songs. We could have listened to one of them songs, but anyway, it's all good.
But the funny thing is, this is what I find like kind of weird about South Africa is you get tourist buses going through these places.
Oh wow, yeah.
I mean, I know you can't run a bus through a favela because of, you know.
No. On the trip from the airport, if you're going from the airport, which was outside of Rio, to get into Rio is surrounded by fucking favelas. You had to drive through the favela to get to Rio, you know, and you saw some outlandish shit on the trip from the
But there
airport.
weren't like tour buses going around pointing out.
No.
Yeah.
No, they did. No, they did. In the favela, they used to have tourist fucking favela tours in the tourism, man. Yeah, it was really fucked up. It was like a zoo, like a... you know, they're like, oh, look at the animals. Yeah, it was fucked up.
So we'd be walking like me and a couple more white guys and my friend be walking, and the buses would go past, and the bus would slow down, thinking like the driver's blatantly thinking, shit, I've lost a couple. Can you?
Shit.
But there was like, if it came to like 4 or 5 p.m, you start getting like dusky. The guy would be like, it's probably time to leave. Because you know, gangsters live on a different kind of time frame.
Yeah, for sure.
So like as soon as like they would start waking up, it was time to leave.
So what was the hairiest scenario you were in, man? Like the most fucked up one, if you can think of, or one you heard of, maybe. I
mean, some people got like beaten up really badly by gangsters. The word, like I told you earlier, the time I got the prison gang throat infection. They were like. They were they were like, you owe me some taxes because you're on my territory.
Yeah.
And I could tell.
But would you agree that like, if you carried if you carried yourself in a certain way and you spoke to them in a certain way, you could avoid a lot of shit. Like you could imagine like green, like super green motherfuckers who don't know what the fuck they're doing, like super overly privileged people might get themselves into really fucked up situations that can easily be avoided if you just fucking take a second to understand what's going on,
Well, I never felt scared, so I never acted scared. Which probably helps. Like as soon as you start, like I did give the guy some money. I was like, all right, fair enough. And then he started asking for more. I was like, no.
Yeah.
And they were cool. And then my friend was like, that when they left, they're like, Matt, you just got really politely robbed.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, but the alternative could have been really unpolitely murdered.
I mean, there's always that risk. But I remember, again, in Brazil, I remember people telling me just like, if you know the coup, you understand what's going on. If you deal with people in a certain way, you can navigate your way around it. You know, it's dangerous. I'm not saying it's not dangerous. It is dangerous. But, if you just got to take that little bit of time to learn what the fuck is happening, and not just go there and just think I'll be cool,
Yeah.
That's when you're going to get in trouble.
And you got to find a fine line because you can't be like militant. You can't be like, well, fuck you, say?
You definitely can't do that.
You got to be like, man, do you want a cigarette?
Matt,
let's talk about it.
Did you ever see anyone with the famous flamethrowers coming out of the side of their car at red lights?
What?
What?
The first I've heard of this. And no, I didn't.
Lots of different people from South Africa tell me when you. Oh, maybe it's what's the other place beginning with D in South Africa? Durban. What's the worst place to live? It's not Cape Town, is it?
Cape Town has statistically got the most murders, I think, a year.
When you stop at red lights, there was a rumor back in the day. Don't you remember this shit where you could press a button and flames come out the side because they're always getting robbed and they're told to get out of their car?
They have like an anti-rob thing.
Anti-rob, like Batman. Like Batman, you press the fucking button, the flames come out the side.
I've never heard of this.
Right,
Andy, heard of this.
I can.
That sounds like something out of RoboCop. Like the film RoboCop.
I can categorically shut that rumor down.
Yeah,
and that's unfortunate.
I know you couldn't have your like I did because I got lazy and got sloppy, but you weren't supposed to have your window down like at traffic lights, which they call robots there.
And what, you got robbed on a traffic light?
No, I'm saying if you live there for like 3 years and nothing happens to you, really, you kind of like start to relax a bit.
People used to come back and say,
nothing happened.
Oh man, you can't stop at a red light, bruv. You have to go straight through, bruv, because you get robbed definitely in 1 second.
At night, yeah. If you're driving, like basically one of the things, this is a weird one in Cape Town.
Flamethrowers.
If you break down on the motorway there, imagine you break down the M25. What's your biggest worry?
Oh, like you got to sit there for a couple
of hours.
Yeah,
or the A40.
Like, for the AA, yeah.
In Cape Town, it's murder and rape. Because for some reason, culturally, if you break down on a motorway, you're fair game.
Not culturally. Yeah. It's about poverty and about fucking...
No, it's something about motorways. You can break down a normal road, you're fine.
Yeah.
If you break down the motorway, that's it. Game over.
It's just because you're more exposed and you're more out, and there's probably evil people targeting.
When I say culturally, I mean specifically to a certain area.
Yeah, sorry.
And don't make me out to be a racist.
Yeah, and I'm not. I wouldn't.
You're not. And there's this thing I noticed in Cape Town where, like, if something bad happens to you, or something like so many people I know got robbed, but if you tell somebody got robbed or beaten up or whatever, they go, "Well, at least you weren't raped and murdered." That's like everyone comes back with, because that happens so much. Like, it's usually not just a robbery; it's usually robbery, rape, murder.
Wow,
like, life's so cheap there.
But you managed to avoid getting raped, though, yeah? Or did you? I don't know.
Yeah, no.
Okay, cool. Let's see.
Didn't. He's not going to say.
No, obviously
we don't know if it's robbing or raping.
But I'm just saying, because I always say, because again, to bring up Brazil, that's the only like point of reference I have because I've never been to South Africa, but I'm just trying to relate it to something that I know. In Brazil, I heard 100 million horror stories. Everyone I met out there, everyone got robbed or got whatever, not raped and killed, I mean, although it did happen a couple times. But it was more, I found once you took the time to understand the law of the land that you're in, if you took the effort to understand where you're in and act accordingly, you could avoid a lot of that shit.
Yeah.
I'm not saying 100% you're safe.
For you, it's different because you could be from somewhere.
Yeah, that definitely
If you're
helped.
white, pasty, Celtic like me, and you go to favela,
no, you're right.
In anywhere,
it definitely helped.
Anywhere.
It definitely helped. Once I had a tan rocking and I could learn a few Portuguese phrases, it definitely helped me for sure. But I'm just saying, because the thing is, I really want to put forward to people that, you know, you should be careful and you should be cautious.
Oh,
and
you should explore.
You should go out of your way to learn what the fuck is going on around you, not just to act like you're, you know, I'm untouchable, I'm privileged and all this stuff. No, you're not.
I wouldn't ever put off someone going to Cape Town.
Yeah, okay.
It's like it's the most beautiful place I've lived. It's my apart from
same with Brazil. Brazil was Rio de Janeiro is one of the coolest.
Fuck Brazil, man. He's trying to chat about South Africa.
But I'm just relating. I'm just
fucking
saying.
Brazil.
I'd say the difference between Brazil and Cape Town is there's kind of like a simmering hatred in a lingering hatred from apartheid in Cape Town.
For sure.
Why you can be murdered just for being white there. I'm not saying it happens all the time, but there are a lot of like old families that live out like in farms, like in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah,
and there is like a thing there where they do get like tortured and murdered.
Oh, no doubt. I know. I've heard about that. And again, I'm not trying to make him out like they're the same. I'm just going from personal experience. You know what I mean? And
they are very similar, but that's kind of like one of the differences. It's one thing that's very unique to South Africa.
There's mad differences, but the point that I'm trying to relate to, like you said, is you want people to go there. It's not like you're trying to scare people and go, no, it's fucked up, don't go there, it's the most fucked up place. No, like it's beautiful. It has so many beautiful things about it and it's gorgeous. But if you don't take the time to learn that shit, you could end up in some fucked up scenarios, you know?
I mean, everyone knew Solo because he was one of the first writers from the UK to go over there and paint.
Oh, wow. Solo.
Yeah.
From ILC. What crew was VOP? VOP crew.
So so everyone was like, do you know Solo? I was like, no, I can't stand the prick.
Why not?
He used to buff me in Stockwell.
Oh, before Stockwell's changed now since you've been gone. It's been
No, he didn't like me, so he used to buff all my pieces.
Oh, Dark. Solo, why are you doing that, Solo? What's wrong with you, bruv?
It's because I did a piece there once, and I think someone did a dub next to me, so he buffed the whole wall. And so I docked one of his pieces, and I was like, all right, we're even. And I went and painted a nice piece there, and you just buffed it. Like, perfectly round the piece next to me.
Yeah.
And it just went on from there.
Have you ever met him, like, face-to-face? You ever met him?
Yeah, but it was... I kind of wanted to have it out with him, but the only time I met him was outside when Commit killed himself, and everyone went to the Old Bailey to, like, protest... prison sentences for writers. That was the only time I was like, this isn't the time.
Yeah.
That's the only time I run into him.
Yeah.
Anyway, dust settled. I don't care anymore.
Yeah. Obviously, it's a long time ago, man.
Were you guys at Robbo's funeral? I don't remember.
I remember hearing about it and seeing about it, but I wasn't there. No. Rest in peace, Robbo, man. King Robbo.
Team Robbo.
And what happened to Era? What happened to Era? I saw Baps suddenly doing an Era RIP.
I think that happened a while ago.
Yeah.
Has he been gone for a long time?
I think so.
No, I haven't heard about that.
Because when I saw it,
I don't want to say, but that wasn't. It's not news to me.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Who recently? No, recently there was a. Fuck, I can't remember who it was. No, recently on Instagram there was a whole bunch of people going R.I.P. a certain person. And then people going, no, he's not actually dead. Or something.
But someone really close to them were like,
yeah.
And then they posted, oh, I got it wrong.
Who was it though? I
can't remember now.
Yeah.
Oh, they posted, I got it wrong.
Yeah, it was like a legendary New York writer, I think. And everyone was like R.I.P. R.I.P. And then I was like, oh shit. And then I started seeing posts going, no, wait, hold on. Who the fuck?
It was like when Acne didn't die all over again.
Yeah. There we go. It's mad. It is mad. Matt, now is a beautiful time to bring up Plastic Bones.
Oh, yeah.
I remember back in the day, Plastic Bones, you did some mad T-shirt designs. You would guys like a mad graphic design company that you and a couple of other heads. Was it Debug?
He was involved, yeah.
He was involved early. Who else was involved in the early days? Zadok.
And
who
Polio.
else? Man? Polio with the hat on the end of his head. Yeah,
the floating hat.
Big up Polio. Big up Polio. Yo. And but now what I remember that being a really cool thing back in the day. I remember you lot doing some really cool stuff, and then it kind of fizzled out or something. I mean, again, I've not been involved in it, so I haven't seen that side of it. But I've seen excuse me. Sorry, Akit, man. Once again, I'm sorry. And you bringing it back? What are you saying? Is that what correct in my thinking? What's going on?
We're toying with the idea. I posted some like throwback photos on Instagram, and everyone was like super excited.
I remember that T-shirt you guys did. Do you know touch?
Yeah,
you remember that with the no, and it had the N throw up from obviously Touch's other tag, which I can't say
there we go.
out loud, but it's the N word.
Yeah,
which I rated him for that. To be honest, man, he's a black dude. He's a black dude from West London, and he was writing the N word.
Imagine
he was writing the N word everywhere.
No, but imagine he never wrote touch, and everyone was like, "Do you know the N word?"
Yeah. Imagine
so that tag.
His main tag was touch, TOUCH, and then he started writing. I'm assuming just everyone had a couple of tags, but he started writing NIGAZ.
Yeah,
yeah,
with a hard Z.
With a hard Z, yeah. And
imagine he'd gone like purist and just gone with the R. And
just NIGGER.
They'll be like, that's a fucking skinhead with a really nice hand style.
Exactly. I mean, I don't know. Do you know anything about that? I mean, I know Touch. I've met him a couple times. I mean, I'm sure I got jacked by him as well.
We were on the train and he didn't jack us.
Is it?
Yeah, me and you on the Central Line once, and it was him, a guy.
What, just me and you?
Yeah.
Oh wow!
Wasn't that weird? You were going to North Acton.
Yeah. So, I'm not saying it's weird.
Like, just me and you.
Trying to picture the scene. Yeah.
I was alone with you.
Yeah. No, that happened many times. It's all love.
They came on the train, and like I had some tags on my school bag. So he Central Line again, going through all these places, and he was like, "Yeah, give me a." And he started tagging my rucksack, and then he was like, "What do you write?" Like everyone's like aggressively to both of us. What do you write? What do you write?
Yeah.
And you, this is like really well timed. You turn around just for going through North Acton. You're like, "All right, just pointed at your dub."
And my dub went past at the same time. Oh, shit. I can't remember this.
Oh, nice.
So we got a pass.
Nice. I remember Touch one time. I was on Turnham Green Station, and you remember
Turnham Green was Touch's station, bruv.
You remember there was two platforms, and in the middle was the Piccadilly line, and it didn't really stop there. It only stopped there like in the morning and in the evening or something. But during the day, the Piccadilly line used to just run through, and then on the outside, the District line ran.
Yeah,
you remember Turnham Green, and I was on this side heading towards. Yeah,
thanks. Yeah.
So we had. Yeah, I'm explaining to the listeners right now. Hi guys, and so I'm on the side that's going towards Ealing, and I remember waiting there for the train, and then the other side, the District line, and then Touch and a couple of other heads came off the train, and then they looked over, and he recognized me from somewhere. I don't know where, and he was, you. Don't go nowhere. I'm coming now. And he went down the stairs.
He'd probably still say that to me if he saw me today.
Yeah. And I was like, fuck, no, they're all coming to jack me. And then luckily, thank fucking God, the train came. I jumped on the train and I was just standing there waiting to see if they're going to make it. And then the train closed before they came up the stairs. And then I was going off and I waved at them from the train. And they all standing there. To this day, I don't know what he wanted.
Movie.
To this day, I don't know what he wanted.
Do you remember that crew?
He doesn't know what he wanted till he got there.
Yeah, Key and all them boys.
I remember my rucksack broke.
Pick up Key, man.
My rucksack broke at WKA as well.
WKA,
anyway,
Pressure, and no, who else was in that crew?
It was Key, PA34, Lack, Key.
Lack.
Yeah.
Lack was the done.
Little
Yeah,
lack.
anyway.
But yeah, my rucksack. Sorry, my backpack. There's certain American words I've had to get used to using, otherwise people don't understand me.
Yeah, backpack is cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, it broke, and I had to take shit home. And so they gave me one from like Lost Property, and it was a fucking Power Rangers one. And I was like, all right, I can get away with this for one trip down the Central Line. And it happened to be that trip that all of those lot got on the train and started bombing and saw my Power Rangers bag, and they were just cussed me the entire journey.
Oh my god! What did they knew you were graffiti right?
Or they just I'd stupidly done a tag on it to try and make it look cool, like I wasn't in Power Rangers. Yeah, I just remember them as dirt.
The classic.
Oh my god!
This is I'm blatantly getting out of it. I've got a tag on it.
Yeah.
I don't actually fucking.
No, but back then, if you remember, back then, everything I owned had a tag on it. Like literally my backpack, my books, my fucking trainers, my fucking everything that I could put a tag on. My whole fucking room was the ceiling, the walls, everything had a tag on it, man. That's just what you did, man, you know? And that's kind of like hip hop, especially earlier on in the early days, the aesthetic of hip hop was finding something and manipulating it to become yours, you know? Like you'd get like your trainers, you'd buy a pair of trainers, but you'd take the laces out and replace them with a different pair of laces, and you'd like color in different parts of it, you know what I mean? Like you'd get a backpack and you put tags all over it, you know what I'm saying, you know? Like that was part of the aesthetic back then. You'd what's the word? Like you'd customize it. That's the word.
Customize your environment.
Yeah, you'd customize it, you know, more. And then that got appropriated by a lot of brands nowadays. They kind of took that and then kind of like presented to you already customized, you know, and like just made it so not unique. You know?
Yeah, it's funny now. Like
I'd
never wear anything with graffiti on it now.
Yeah. You see now how popular it is now. I've just noticed it now when I see things come up on my timeline. I see like, you know, really fashionable people wearing clothing that looks like they're graffiti writers. Have you ever seen that? Like there's like Balenciaga. I don't want to bring them up because I know
that's a weird one to pull out the hat.
But they were very trendy before all this shit came out. They've been
I've never heard
trendy
of them until they started slaughtering babies and advertising campaigns.
Yeah.
Nor had I.
They didn't slaughter any babies.
No?
They did some fucked up shit. They're idiots, and I don't give a fuck about them. I don't own any of their shit. But they didn't slaughter anyone. They did. I
mean, I've now heard of them. So as marketing goes, they've reached a new audience.
No, they're fucked. They're fucked. Fuck Balenciaga. Fuck them. But I'm just saying, I've been noticing in the trends. Have you not seen clothing? Like, obviously, there's the ripped jeans. The whole ripped jeans thing now became popular.
Yeah, I've seen like jeans in shops that look like the things I put on specifically to go to paint,
like splattered in paint and shit. And like I've seen like jackets with paint splatters on them. You know, like the jackets that we all have that we've been wearing for years because we're painting them. Now that's become a trendy fucking thing to wear. I've been seeing that a lot recently, man. It's kind of fucked up, but I mean, it's kind of weird.
I don't know about you, but when I'm doing graffiti, like I kind of like to look homeless.
For sure.
I look homeless, and my graphic arms are definitely homeless.
Yeah. I mean,
illegal,
it definitely helped in South Africa because you had to look homeless because you didn't want to get robbed. You didn't want to look like you had any wealth whatsoever. And also, 100%. You don't want to fuck up your nice clothes.
Mate, when I arrived in Brazil, my sister met me. She hugged me and then immediately
stole your chain.
She took my necklace off. I had a DKNY watch. She took it off my wrist. I had a ring on. She took my ring off, and she was like, "You don't need that shit here. Put that shit away." And then she explained the rest of the shit. Immediately, that's the first thing she did was take my chain off and take it. She was like, "Don't fucking wear that shit." Anyway, guys, let's go to the last track that we're going to listen to right now. This is a song.
I was going to talk about more touch jackets.
Go for it. Yeah, please.
With Matt's theory on the motorway, getting killed on the motorway. They do that in Venezuela as well. Yeah.
Big up Touch, man. Big up Touch. Because Touch, I know and Matt, you know Touch, yeah. Like he's a reasonable dude. Yeah. Like, you know, obviously he's been through a lot and he's doing his thing. And the guy was all city back in the day. He was up. Maybe would you say he's all city?
I went all over London for work, and yeah, he was everywhere.
He was everywhere. Whether it was
with
Touch,
different reaches as well.
With that end,
we got very up with different reaches.
The thing is, the DDS, you had like DDS kind of hotspots all like north, out, south, east, west.
Yeah,
and he would go and probably link those guys. Like, you know, Touch is just that's his day. He just gets up and he just goes around London.
You know,
he was a notorious figure, and we should have brought up before when I mentioned the T-shirt, because you guys at Plastic Bones, you did the "Do you know Touch?" as a T-shirt with the no KNOW.
I was showing it on the screen. Didn't you see it?
No. Show me what's
Where were you when I was showing?
I'm sorry, I missed it. But that N is the N throw up. I think I've seen.
Went through it.
I'm sorry. Yeah. That's the one. Yeah, the N.
This is exactly what I did. You said the exact same thing about the N throw up.
Did I say that? No. Okay, but okay. Boom. That N throw up was notorious around London, man. In the early 2000s, late 90s.
What was his reach beginning with S, Matt? I can't remember. It was like
with
S.
It was Spence, because after Spencer.
Spence. Yes, I remember that.
He got up with Spence, bro.
Not as much.
He got up with Spence.
Yeah, but not as much as the others. I remember seeing Spence.
Yeah, no, of course. Yeah. But of course, like N-Rock, N-Dubs, N-Rock. All of the N's. Yes. But then Skeng was the next one, no? That was the most up. Skeng was up for a while. No, not Skeng. What did you say?
Spence.
SPENZ.
Yeah, I remember seeing that about.
SPENZ SB.
SB.
Was everywhere.
Was Touch the original SB?
I can't remember, because there was like, it was FLS kind of morphed into SB.
FLS, man.
No, but no. I think original SB was a bit different. Yeah.
Don't remind me about FLS, man. Like,
I went painting with Touch once. He caught me one of those times when you're walking somewhere late at night and you bumped into Touch, and I was like, "Oh shit, what's going to happen now?" You know, you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, you don't want to bump.
And he's like, "Right, Fiend, we're going painting."
Oh, shit.
He wanted to go and do a yard, and I think like it was a weird night, so nothing was going to be available. Yeah, it was one of those kind of. It was either a massive kind of thing like a New Year's Day or something. I can't remember what it was. It was very early as well. And he's like, "Yeah, we've got to do a yard." And I was like, "Bruv, it's like, you know what I mean? We're in the middle of Chiswick fucking High Road or Turnham Green Terrace or something like that. And we can't go, where are we going to go? Where are we going to get the paint? And we end up going to paint this ridiculous. I feel really bad for it, yeah? There's just like a place called Duke Avenues or something like that, or... Like in between Chiswick and Barnes on the railway, there's like a load of green area, yeah. And in that green area, they have a kids train, but it's like a proper model steam train. So it's all got like carriages, it's all painted really nice, and they lock it in a shed, yeah. And fucking me and Touch broke into this shed. And blitz this train. You know, like blitz is like a kid's fucking train put away by the groundsman and shit. Like, fucking hell. Didn't give a shit, obviously. Woke up the next day, yeah, and it was like fucking everywhere. It was like all in like those kind of Chiswick Herald and all these kind of Hounslow local newspapers. Yeah. The train of the kids and whatever this part was, I can't remember the part, gets battered. That's it. I felt like such a
I got on the front of the Ealing Leader twice. Do you remember the
Wow.
Did you?
Yeah, I was on the front page once. Yeah. I remember once I was on the front page.
One of them there was like an argument of like a girl's mum said, "We can paint the side of a house in South Ealing." So we painted it, and like it caused such a shitstorm. Like there was a crowd around us by the end of it, like yelling abuse. Police turned up for crowd control, and then it was like on the front page. You know, like.
I remember that piece. Yeah. I remember that piece in South Ealing. It was near where the snooker club was. Remember that dodgy snooker club that we also used to smoke weed in down in.
Yeah.
Was it near there? Yeah.
Yeah, I've got the photos somewhere here.
Yeah. Yeah.
You could yeah.
You got to send me all these photos. Because that's another thing, Matt, that I remember about you.
Oh,
that
me, yeah, the photo
day,
node. You know those people on Instagram that just take photos of graph? And
you were a documenter. Yeah, you were a bencher, as they call.
I'm in front of my my unit here. I've got everything to hand.
That's a room I'd love to check out. This room.
Guys listening in right now, yeah. My man Matt here, yeah, sick. There we go. Amb, Zorro, big up Frez. Yeah, he's got all the flicks from back in the day. You got all
They're the actual flicks.
That's the Frez Ban Am from Hanger Lane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo. Listen, my man Matt took pictures of everything, man. Like I remember that was
He's got them in proper photo.
I remember
albums,
whenever
we nice and neat. I fucking love that shit.
Whenever we used to bump into you back in the day, we used to be like, "Where's the photo album?" And you'd pull out the photo album, and you'd have flicks of everything.
Matt, you've got all Diet's photos, don't you, as well?
He loved the culture so fucking much. The dude was out there documenting this shit. You were one of those dudes but you've never put all these things out there somewhere in a collective thing for people to see.
No, and you shouldn't.
Yeah,
you shouldn't.
No, Matt, tell me.
100%.
Nah, you should. You should at some point.
No, all of that shit's getting spread about. Fucking arms house to your mum's house, all that bullshit. Do
you know what's funny as well?
All of the people are doing that.
So, do you know what I really regret is not taking photos of people as much back in the day.
Yeah, but people weren't happy getting their photo taken back then.
Like even us, like when we were painting,
it's
just photos of the end.
No,
result.
When the police raided my house, there was pictures of me like this in front of my graffiti, like that. And the BEP just going, "Yo, that's you, right?" In front of an amber piece. Yeah, that's evidence right now. There was so many photos like that. Because I'm a dickhead. I was like, yeah,
not necessarily people doing the graph or standing in front of the piece, but like the stuff, the shit we used to get up to. I wish I took photos of that kind of stuff.
No, but
all these things we're talking about, like Polly, a million, their house parties and all that.
Yeah.
If you had that,
we were the last generation not to do that because everyone's got camera phones now.
Well, that's the thing. Now we complain. Like, look, you know what? I'm so glad I didn't come up in the era of social media as a teenager.
I'd have liked to have a camera on my phone, but like have a camera on me all the time that didn't cost a fortune to develop film. I'd have liked that without the social media because I was a clown back in the day. I was a bit like Theme. Like I would not call you a clown. Like I would just like do wild shit just to be the center of attention. And some of the shit I did, if that would be like straight on Instagram the next day. These days,
but to be honest, I'm glad that it wasn't. It's a whole different mentality. Like back then, you realized that it wasn't going to be on because there was no social media. So you did the shit that you did just for the people that were there right in front of you. You know, you weren't thinking about that. Now, kids, if you're a smart kid, you have to think about that shit. I mean, and it's going to affect...
How's it going to look on the ground?
And it's going to affect the way you act, you know, maybe for the better or maybe for the worse. I don't know. But I'm just saying it's going to affect.
We had like pressure to be like, I don't know, whatever, the cool kids or the funny person. And nowadays kids have got to think about, that's... People have got their phone out like constantly ready to...
Well, you know what? On the very first episode of this podcast, episode 1, me and Theme, we talk about the gun incident and we talk about a whole bunch of other stuff. And we mentioned then about how you would act differently knowing you're being filmed. And just and also when you wanted the respect of your peers as a teenager, as a stupid teenager. You had to do wild shit in front of them. You know what I mean? You had to get involved in some wild, crazy shit.
Yeah.
In front of them so they could see it in their eyes live happening in front of them for them to go, oh, yeah, cool. Of course, there was always stories like, oh, yeah, you heard about Maddie. He did this crazy shit. Oh, you heard about Andy. He did some crazy shit.
But those stories only came about because you did something live.
You did some crazy shit in front of people.
Saw it, then they spread it along and spread it.
I can remember my friend had a camcorder and he got it out once. And this first friend of mine had a camcorder. Do you know the first thing I did? I threw a brick through a bus stop window. just to do something for the camera.
Mate,
Exactly, man. Exactly.
I had a video camera as well, early days, like mid to late 90s, and
where's all the footage? This is what I'm saying. Everyone
I got it. And
where's all this shit?
But it's footage of us as teenagers just chatting shit it's really
Nick,
cringy.
you know,
man.
Nick
it's
Dobbs.
really
I think it was
cringy.
Dobbs.
It's just us chatting shit.
He posted a photo.
Huh?
You know, people going to Hammersmith River. Do you remember Hammersmith River was a thing?
Of course, that was the spot.
Those two pubs in between, and there was a bit of a walkway, and then the river's there.
Yeah,
and a lot of people used to go down there.
Yeah,
writers and 90s heads. What was the 90s? Someone posted a pic from there, and I could remember looking and go, "Oh yeah, there's like Black Dave, White Dave." It was like names back like that.
On like one of your episodes, I was remembering all the people I'd forgotten about.
Yo,
they're all on fucking. I remember them when I think of Hammersmith River. Obviously, Dogs was in it. I saw it was on his Insta. It was just like I said, old school flick. I remember those kind of places. Like a lot of people don't have pictures of what's it called, the Grundy anymore. You know what I mean? But if they did, they'd have it close up of just the wall where they wouldn't have. I want to remember like the area.
Yeah, I used to cut around my photos.
They were wearing, how we were looking.
It pissed me off.
Yeah,
I don't know why. I cut around the photos just so I could fit more into the album. And now, like, it's not the most important thing, but like now we're kicking just the stuff around it, like the old tags and things.
Yeah, because this shit's changed so much.
Oh, I'm glad you reminded me, man, because I remember in a previous episode, I said I was going to big up a couple of Instagram accounts right now that post old school graffiti.
Oh yeah, there's a few good ones. Yeah,
and what I love about these graph Instagram things from back in the 80s, 90s was not just for the picture of the graffiti, but also you're always scanning around the outsides, like who's tagged around it, where tags. Yeah. So I want to big up a couple of these accounts so people can maybe check them out to see, you know, if you're not into graph, if you want to check these out. There's one, it's called, what's this one called? Abusive 1971. Do you guys follow this guy?
Yeah.
Abusive, ABUSIVE 1971. That's one of them. Another one is John Nation. Do you guys know about this guy? JOHN.
I like his because it's like all up and down the UK.
All up and down the UK, yeah. John Nation is another one. Sorry, I put a list here of ones that I wanted people to check out. There's another one, 1980s, so 1980s _NYC _graffiti. This guy is really cool. So that's all 80s graffiti on the trains in New York, which is a cool one. Man, you know what, Matt? I know with all the photos you got, you could start a page like that, just posting just old school stuff. But
don't do it, man.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
But
don't do that.
Again, like we were talking about, maybe not on Instagram, because Instagram is owned by Zuckerberg and all them motherfuckers. Fuck them, man. Don't give them the rights to this shit. Maybe start your own shit. I don't know, whatever. But I know that you have you can see behind you, man. You're a collector. You collect shit.
Yeah. As soon as I get into something, I don't really do it by halves.
Yeah. Can you see that? You see that that canvas right behind your head, right there? That's a legendary. Can you? Oh, yo! If you could bring us closer to that.
Hey, that is legendary.
I'll lose my light.
Yeah, and
it's infamous.
That has a lot of legendary UK writers on there. It's got me on it. It's got my man Frez on it. Huh?
Been all around the world, this canvas.
Yeah, I've got another one here as well. It's more kind of international. That one.
Yo, to the people only listening to this right now, he's showing us his canvases on his wall right behind him. He's got loads of figures like what is it, Naruto and fucking like all that shit.
It's a lot of old school Dragon Ball Z stuff.
Dragon Ball Z and all them boys. Yeah, he's got a load of figures around behind him, man. That's just dope. All right, guys, listen. We've been going on for 2 hours and a fucking half right now, and it's been.
I wanted to talk more about touch muggings.
Yeah,
go on.
And what?
Is this the record? Is this the longest one?
Yeah, I think it will be. Yeah, all good. I mean, you know, much love to everybody tuning in. I mean, if you like what you're hearing, please leave a comment. Let us know your thoughts. You know what I mean?
Who won
Say
the
hello.
t-shirt?
But wait, are you playing a song? I thought you played a song.
Oh shit!
Was it me? Because that'd be kind of awkward.
You know what? I was supposed to organize. Oh man, I can't believe you just reminded me of that. You know what? When I edit this episode, so before I release this episode, I'm gonna do a section where I pick out of a hat who wins the t-shirt. Oh my god, I can't believe you just reminded me of that. So we're gonna cut to that now. Yo, easy now. Yeah, we'll go back to the podcast in 1 second. Let me just pick out of a hat. I remember I said that on episode 4 and 5, if you left a comment, I was going to pick one at random out of a hat and send you a free t-shirt. Let's see some of these people. Big them up. Shelly D, big up. Osb42. Who else left a comment? Snare1. Loads of people, man. Thank you so much. Fenster. I think that's DJ Fenster. What up, man? Scratch 1. Oh, we already did the Scratch 1, innit? Maybe there's 2 Scratch 1s in there. I'll get rid of one. Theo Conway. I know my man Equal. CBM crew is in the house. Daz Reject. Anyway, we got a bunch of names here in the hat. Let me fold these up so I can't see him. Boom, I'm going to pick one at random, all right? Oh, shit, one fell out. There we go. Boo-da-boo-da-boom, boo-da-boo-da-boom, boo-da-boo-da-boom. There we go. All right. This says The Real XLVII. I guess that's XL7 in like Roman numerals. The Real XLVII. Yes. So well done to that guy or girl. Respect to you. Please go to our Instagram at Arms House to Your Mum's House Pod. All right, the link is below. You can message us there, or if you don't use Instagram, leave another comment here and we'll work out some way to get this t-shirt over to you, man. I hope you don't live in Japan or anything like that. But much love. Now we go back to the podcast, yo. Peace, peace, peace. So yeah, big up to that person who wins a t-shirt. You'll be getting a t-shirt winging your way to you right now as we speak. Big up yourself. Thank you for leaving a comment. And you know what? Leave a comment here right now and you never know. You might win a t-shirt. Who knows? But yeah, big up, man, for all that shit. You know what? I had one tune I wanted to play. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, yeah. You were going to play a tune.
I'm going to play one tune and then we'll have a little chat about it.
That chat was gently linking up to your tune, and then it went awry.
Awry, as it usually does on these things. I had fun right now, man. This has been beautiful. Matt, it's so good to catch up with you, brother, man. It's been a long time, and we go way back, man. And, you know, we say in Brazil, we say sangue bom. Yeah, sangue bom means good blood. Yeah, you got good blood, man. You're good motherfucker.
Got hypertension, but yeah.
yeah, your blood is fucked up. It's good with me. Though. I wanted to play this one song. I'm going to play it, and then afterwards I'm going to explain why. Okay? And you all know this song. Everyone knows this fucking song. Check it out. I hate that song.
Me too. I was hoping that's where it would go.
Yes.
I fucking hate that song. I fucking hate the Fugees. They fucking commercialized hip-hop to a horrible... Oh, sorry, like... I was the cool guy listening to hip-hop in school, and then every cunt was listening to the Fugees. Like, I'm into hip-hop now. I was like, do you know Wu-Tang? Do you know this? Fuck you don't know fucking hip-hop.
Every cunt was into the Fugees.
Listen, man, I'm glad I got that reaction from you, because at the time when this came, this song, this whole album, The Score by the Fugees, yeah, it came out in 95, I think. 96. No, 95, I think.
I think it was the first hip-hop album that crossed the bridge between hip-hop heads and the rest of the fucking world.
Yeah. No, it wasn't there was a few before then. But yeah, you're right. That song got so fucking overplayed.
Oh my days,
that now when I'm out in a club or if I'm in a party or something and the DJ plays that song, I just go, you fucking dickhead.
Still to this day.
Up in the decks.
I just fucking, it's just been played so much. You know, when you hear a song so much, and it's a good song. It's good. It's cool.
But really? What? Still now?
Still now, man. Like, it's a good song.
I remember when it got played out, like you couldn't move.
It made me hate it. It
that
made
was ages ago,
but
man.
it made me hate it, man. It made me hate it.
It's interesting. You've never listened to it since like in 2010, for example, and you didn't think, oh fuck me, it is a good tune.
There are some like infamous tunes of the
hated.
90s that I can listen to, like Tribe Called Quest. Like
they
had a very successful commercial album, and their tunes are still like great to listen.
Still good.
Yeah, and I can still listen to that.
I was in the top 1% of Tribe Called Quest listeners on my Spotify. What's it called? They send you wrap up, the Spotify wrap up.
Yeah.
So this is what you're listening to, blah, blah, blah. Top 1% of Tribe Called Quest listeners.
Damn.
That's the theme.
Yeah, but Tribe Called Quest are dope, but they had layers to the shit.
What's the track they did called like Stressed Out? And that became like a commercial hit. But
you really know how I feel.
Still bangs today.
Yeah. It's a big tune, yeah. And it wasn't played out enough. Like that Fugees song, though, that song in particular, like you said, Matt, it crossed over in such a way that you couldn't get away from that song.
Yeah.
And the thing is, that album as a whole, it really brings me back to that time. It's got that nostalgic aspect to it, you know? And
100%.
and like in a way, I love the album. There's many tunes on the album. There's the "Send me say many many, send me say many many money." You know, there's the "Ooh la la la," with the road. You know, there's so many great songs on the album, and it's a great album.
I was listening to Bone Thugs and Harmony's second album at the time. They came out around the same time.
They did some incredible shit as well, but this album in particular,
I'm gonna miss everybody, and I'm gonna miss everybody.
But this song. What's it called? Ready or Not, yeah. And it samples that Enigma song. And it's like, you know, it's just become one of those songs that I've heard so many fucking times. I fucking hate that song now. I literally hate it. Every time when I first hear those first coming on. And when I first hear it, it brings a prickle to my spine. I'm like, ugh!
It's a new segment, Wackest Hip Hop Track of the Week.
Wackest. Oh man, you just reminded me. It's harsh
because it wasn't whack when that came out. Nobody thought it was.
It wasn't whack. It was the greatest thing ever, and I was listening to it on loop, and we all were. And it brings me completely back to that time, being 16 years old, doing all the shit that we were doing, and that's why I played it, because Matt is here with us, and that was the era when we were all doing our fucking crazy shit in London back then. That's why I remember
that tune coming out and it being like the biggest tune. Yeah?
It was the biggest tune.
Ridiculous. Then it went to the ridiculous biggest tune levels. It was played on like Kiss, Radio 1, fucking everything like that.
And it ruined it.
And then I remember going to parties and shit and seeing like all the Rude Boys and that starting. I remember the downfall of that tune in the same kind of era because I remember them thinking, hang about, fucking...
Yeah,
these guys are dancing to it now. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck's going on? Or everyone's playing it. So I remember it being cool to not listen to it.
Yeah.
From it coming out, getting massive, super massive, and then being in like some ways like, oh shit. I remember noticing the beginning of the end of like thinking, oh look, they're not, oh shit.
Even from back then you could sense that. Yeah. And then now when I hear it, I'm just like, you know what? Similar to that tune, No Diggity, you gotta bag it up. Ayo, ayo. That's a wicked tune as well, but I fucking hate that song now. When I hear it, I'm like, you're lazy. When I hear the DJ play it, I'm like, you're a lazy cunt for playing that.
I got 5 on it.
Oh yeah, that's the only good.
I got 5.
I'm not mad at. I got 5 on
that's
it.
The only that's the only good tune they made. Like from what I've heard, like from what I've listened to, everything else is dog shit.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I agree with that shit.
But respect to the loonies because I live in America, so.
Yeah, don't shoot Matt. Whatever you do, guys, don't shoot Matt. I beg you. So, do you walk around with a bulletproof vest?
Do you know what's weird here? Is there is a wrong side of the tracks.
Oh wow!
Where I live now, if I walk up my road, take a left, it's this really nice high street. There's like pubs, restaurants, little like boutique stores. There's a cat cafe where I got my latest cat.
Oh, nice.
And then there's a freight line, and when you go under that, it's like a strip mall with like liquor stores, like chicken shops, a load of homeless people. It's literally as soon as you get on the other side. I don't know if it's an American thing or just where I live, but there's a saying: So I'm presuming it's
the wrong side of the tracks. Yo, respect to Tame One. Rest in peace, Tame One from the Artifacts. He passed away not too long ago, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so we got to give props to him, man. Much love to him. And I actually might be doing I don't want to say too much, but this Christmas, me and Insa got a little plan for a little graffiti mission that we're gonna do.
Oh, nice.
And we're gonna do it. We're gonna do a little respect to Tame One from the Artifacts, you know, because they played a big part back in the 90s. That song,
that was
Wrong
like
Side
the biggest graph hip hop track that went like that
song was, we used to listen to that at Zilo's house. We used to sit in Zilo's sketching before we went out on a mission. We'd all be like getting our cans together. We're all going to go paint a mission that night. We'd be listening to that on vinyl, on repeat.
I think Visual Graphics had lots to do with that, because their tracks, like, and DJ First Rate, he would do all their tracks. And that's how I discovered a lot of those tunes.
Yeah. Salute to Kilo and Score and all them boys, man, that were doing that back in the day.
I saw I was on the district line going in between Barons Court and Hammersmith, or like around there. I think it was Barons Court Ledge. Someone's done I think it's 10 Foot and Fume, and they've put up Zeal VFL.
Yeah, you know why? Can I tell you a story?
Have you seen that? What, is it on Instagram?
No.
I've only seen it.
I was
posted it and I saw,
Let me tell you something, yeah? I hope Zilo don't mind me telling this story. Zilo, he as you guys know, you know, he does a printing company. He does that's his job. He does like mad garms stuff. Respect to him. His I don't even want to mention where his office is, but it's in West London. He went to his office late at night one night, unlocked it, and then came out, and he just smelled paint. He could smell graffiti paint. And he looked up, and just where his gate is, when he locked it, there was a massive 10-foot tag there. And he could smell that it had just been done literally just then. And he looked to his left, and he said, this is what he told me. He said that there was three
leaving.
There was three figures there. One of them was a big, tall motherfucker. And he was like, hey, and he was drunk at the time. And he was like, hey, what the fuck you guys doing graph on my thing? And they were like, hey, what the fuck? And then he got into a little confrontation with them until he realized who it was. And it was Fume, 10 Foot, and Bass. Yeah. And then once Zilo realized it was them, he was like, oh no, I do graph. I'm Zilo. What up? And then they were like, oh shit, you're Zilo. Oh, okay, cool. And then they had a conversation and they were chill and they had and so that's maybe why they put him up afterwards. I don't know for sure, but that makes sense because Zilo, he told me that story happened to him literally only a couple of months ago. You know, he caught them lot in the act.
A lot of people have tagged down his place of work.
Yeah, because it's under a tunnel under the train tracks. Yeah, it's one of those tunnels under the train tracks. So yeah. But listen, guys, man, this has been amazing. This has been wonderful. This has been really, really fucking cool, man. Thank you, Matt, for joining us, man.
It's the longest I've spoken to anyone from home for a while.
Can we give you?
That's wicked.
I know it's your birthday around about this time, and so I want to give you a massive respect and happy birthday, brother. And
cheers.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, cheers, man. Themos, big up Themos as well.
None left.
Thank you so much for joining us, man. I think we should, call it a day, right? Oh, no, wait, hold on. Me and Theme were talking about, because we have a segment here called the Wackest Writer of the Week. Theme, do you want to do it?
Are we doing it now?
Why not? Fuck it, because I think it's funny as fuck. Because this guy...
We'll save it for the next one, because it's 2 hours 40.
Yeah, I know. We're deep into this. Yeah, it's true. Okay, you know what? We're going to save it for the next one.
It's Inuk.
No, it's... No, it's not.
Leave that in.
I know you... I will, but I know you got beef with him.
I don't beef with him. He's just a whack writer. All right, bye.
Okay, cool. Nah, party people, Much love and
No,
respect.
you're gonna end it on that.
Yeah, we're gonna end it on that, guys. Please leave a comment. Let us know your thoughts, because the comments on the YouTube video, it helps other people to reach this video. That's how the algorithm works. I'm sorry, it's not how I work. But much love to Matt. You can follow him on Instagram. The links will all be below at Matt Script, right? MATTSC. Go on, hit me. What is it?
MATTSSCRIPT.
There we go. Please follow Matt.
Or
check
unfollow
out his
me.
shit. Or unfollow him even.
Up to you. I give a fuck.
Blocked.
It's all love. He don't give a fuck, man. You know what I mean? Big up my man's theme. Amber here. Much love, people. Thank you so much for checking it out. Please spread the word. Let a friend know. You know what I mean? And it's all love, man.
We'll be bringing Venezuela
it back.
to inflate culos.
Venezuelan culo inflator. We drop new episodes every Wednesday. So stay tuned. Subscribe, like, comment, all that stuff. Much love, party people. Salute. Thank you, Matt, once again for joining us, man. Maybe you'll join us again in the future, yeah?
Yeah. I've got more stories.
Yeah. We got plenty more. Yeah. We hardly scraped the surface right here, man. But it's been beautiful though, man. Thank you, man, so much, man. And much love, man. Theme, you got anything else to add? What you say?
Mom's house to your mom's, to your mom's house, to your mom's house.